Oh, good evening. My name's Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again, and this is going to be the Arsenal Women's Show. It is going to be a busy show tonight. We're going to look back, of course, on last Friday, that really disappointing defeat against Chelsea. We're going to look at what went wrong, look at the issue over the socks and everything else that went into that game. We're going to look and see where it leaves the title race. Is that it now for us? It seems that way, but we'll discuss that as well. Of course, we've got another big game coming up this weekend on Sunday. We're away at Aston Villa, who we beat recently in the Continental Cup. So we're going to have a look ahead to that game. We may even have a little discussion about the upcoming Cup final as well, seeing as next Friday might be tricky to do a show. And of course, we'll have your comments and questions as well, all coming up the other side of this. And of course, it wouldn't be an Arsenal Women's Show, wouldn't it, without our guests, of course, the fantastic guests that we always have on the show, Andreas, of course, and Amar as well. Andreas, good to see you. Hope your internet's a bit better this week.
I hope so. Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and just looking forward to the show.
Yeah, it seems like your internet's working this week, which is good. And Amar as well, slightly different kind of background for you this week, Amar. Well, you're not at home.
Well, it's because I'm sitting on the floor, mate, because I've just had my dinner.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough. You can sit on the floor.
Well, why not?
No, why not indeed? Why not indeed? So that's our great panel, as always. And, of course, we are going to get into the show. Where else can we start other than a week ago? This time last week, we were all very disappointed with what we were watching, wasn't we? So let's have a look back on what happened last Friday. Now, there seems so much to discuss in this game, really, and a lot of it maybe isn't really to do with football necessarily. I mean, before the games, what I don't understand, right, and I don't know what you guys think, anyone in the chat might come up with an answer to this. Now, why was there a half an hour delay to get a lot of socks? One Chelsea shop is at the ground, so they could have easily supplied some in 5 minutes. Everyone gets changed. And why would they have left it until just before kickoff to realise that there was a clash of socks? I don't understand. Arsenal turned up with the kit we turned up in, probably with white socks as it turned out, right? Chelsea, obviously, we're going to be playing in white socks. We must have known that before 10-7. It doesn't take half an hour. We had a whole kit one. So we turned up for one of our games. We had the whole kit was clashing with the other team. Someone had to go home, the whole kit, come back. We had to change completely into a new kit, all of our players, and we still didn't delay it by half an hour. There's no reason for just changing socks. And also, as well, the other point is about this, they didn't even need to change socks. Look at this, right? This is when we played Chelsea at the Emirates, right? We wore white socks, they wore blue. No problem at all, right? The season before at the Emirates, we wore red socks, they wore white, right? It's not difficult. Chelsea would have had blue and white socks. They could have worn either of those socks. Why didn't they just change? It's not like you're changing your kit. They could have worn blue socks, wouldn't have made any difference. It looks like a Chelsea home kit, no problem at all. Why did they have to go through? Was that a tactic to throw us off? Because their performance after that was terrible. That first half, it was like it wasn't even there. Now, the game almost became a joke when you've got a live TV audience, you've got a big crowd at Stamford Bridge to watch the game, one of the biggest games of the season. It always is. And it was just a farce. I mean, Andreas, what on earth happened there? Why did it take half an hour to sort that out?
It's ridiculous, such a situation in a professional league, in a top league of European football. It's impossible that this happens. I would have said before, but I read that Chelsea's home kit is blue shirt, blue shorts, and white. Okay, but this must have been discussed before, and we must know this. And do we travel to an away match with only one sort of kits and socks? I don't know. And even if then it's just a matter of discussion or decision by the referee, and then the referee says, okay, I don't accept white socks for both teams, and then yeah, of course, the home team says, yeah, but we don't change. We are the home team. Okay. And then it takes so long for us to organize it. And I read that we spent £400 to buy socks in the Chelsea mega store. But then there's the Chelsea sign on it and the Nike swoosh, and we are playing with Adidas. So it must have been taped that you don't see the Chelsea logo and the Nike logo on it. That's ridiculous. I mean, this can happen in the third or fourth tier, or in a it's such a non-professional league, but not in such a match where I was sitting in front of TV in Germany watching Sky, and there was kick-off delayed. And you think, what happened? Are not all spectators in? Did something happen outside? But maybe there was an accident or something. And then it was a kid clash. I don't understand it. It was unprofessional from us, from our kid manager from Arsenal, but also from the referees and not really fair from Chelsea. It would have been easier for them to change socks. Yeah, but that was, I think, tactics to say, okay, we are the home team. Let's do them the socks change. Maybe it will disturb the concentration or something like that. But anyway, it's unacceptable for a top match in a professional league. That's my opinion.
And you're right. Absolutely. I mean, you can't disagree with that. It absolutely is. It is unacceptable. There's no excuse for it either, is there? There's just no excuse. But yes, I mean, did Arsenal only come with one kit, one set of kit, one colour potentially? But surely everybody knows it's not difficult. You've only got to look at Chelsea's home games to know they wear white shorts at home usually, or white socks at home. It's not difficult, is it? Anybody could see that. So I don't know what's happened there. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I just cannot understand how that happened. At first, I agree with you, Andreas. At first, I thought it was something to do with the crowd. Maybe people's tickets not working or people not being able to get into the ground. It's because they both got the same socks. It's like, what on earth is going on? This is WFL. This is women's football, which they're trying to promote as now this fantastic product that is professional. It's going to challenge the men's game. It's going to challenge the Premier League, all this kind of stuff, right? Which it will. And, we've been a massive supporter of it. But when stuff like this still happen at the top level of women's football in this country, it makes it all these people like Joey Barton and all those kind of people with that mindset, they look at that and they just think, well, we were right. It's a joke. We were right all along. And they won't even watch it. They'll just switch off and go and do something else, right? And that is not what the game needs. The game needs to be seen as being organised and professional, which most of the time it is. But on one of the biggest nights of the season, that happens, and it is embarrassing. Every single person involved in that, at Arsenal and at Chelsea, should be ashamed of themselves, hang their head in shame. And if Chelsea were really charging us all that money for the socks, then they honestly, that is just ridiculous. That they should be kicked out of the league for that. That's just give us a great player. We're promoting their socks on the pitch. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's just none of that. And to be honest with you, almost the more I thought about this all week, that's actually annoyed me more than the game and the performance. It's annoyed me more. It's actually worse than how we played. And that shouldn't be the case. The game should be the main focus because it's such a big game. But for me, that's actually angered me more than our performance, which we'll come on to in a minute. I mean, Emma, what did you make of all of the sock issue? I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? Crazy.
I mean, I was on the train home and I got my car and go, well, let's go and watch this at 7 o'clock. And I thought, wait, what? Kick-off delayed on 7:30. What's going on here? And then I looked on Twitter and said, kick-off has been delayed due to an indefinite kit issue. And what's going on here? And then I don't know if you know Brian Kelly, who travels to all the Arsenal games. He tweets quite regularly. He's quite a reliable source. And he says, I'll be down to a kit clash. What's going on here? I mean, I couldn't believe are you actually serious in this day and age? Okay, I don't know. I don't know where the fault blames, but I'm inclined to think that you had all day to know. You know that you're playing a blue and white kit, and you're playing against a team who has blue and white kit. And why didn't they just wear the pink kit, for goodness sake? Why couldn't they have just worn that? It would have made
the red socks. The red socks we wore at the Emirates when we played them. Why didn't we just wear them?
Yeah, I know. But you see, they're still red and white, though, aren't they? That's maybe what the confusion lay. But honestly, whatever it was, I think either they should have worn the Stella McCartney, the way of the pink kit, or they should have just known beforehand if there was going to be a clash. They should have, because Chelsea are not going to wear their away socks at home. That just doesn't make any sense, does it? But anyway, for me, I don't know. I think personally, the kit man is a bit has to hang his head a bit in shame here because they had all day to sort that out, and the fact that they delayed the game is ridiculous. Okay, they had to go to the mega store, which I agree with you. It's ridiculous that they charge it, and they go on their social media, oh, you socked it to us and all that rubbish after. But no, you can be charging that much. Okay, fine. It is an embarrassing issue in this day and age, and it's not good. It does not look good in this, yeah, as you say, with regards to. People like Joey Barton, who consistently downgrade the women's game, it allows people like him to make comments. Well, I didn't. I've blocked him anyway, so I don't know. But it is in this day and age. It ruined a good spectacle, and arguably, I feel for the players because it maybe, as you say, affected the outcome of the game and didn't help their. As you know, against Chelsea, it always seems we have apart from recently, in big games, we have a mental block against them. Could you imagine what we've done to their mental state, having to wait another hour, having prepared so meticulously as they always do for the game? I mean, it's embarrassing. And if it ever happens again, well, honestly, I don't know what to say. It should never ever happen again because it looks so unprofessional and it just puts the game in a bad light.
It does, and of course the good news is we play Chelsea, of course, at Wolves next week in the cup final. So what might happen is we'll have to wear gold socks, the Wolves socks. If it happens again, we just have to pay £300 in the.
With the home team, though, with the home team in that as well.
Gold socks. So at least we'll be sorted for that.
Make Chelsea wear Wolves' kit. Make Chelsea wear Wolves' kit.
Yeah, maybe we should do. Yeah, they might play like Wolves in, mightn't they? That'd be good. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Big Pierce says there, who's the kit man? That was embarrassing. It was, yeah. He said, moreover, Nike socks on, added that shirt and shorts. Yeah, we don't really want to talk about Nike too much, do we, after what they've done this week? So maybe we shouldn't really go down that road. Greg says, evening all, the reason why it took so long, they were negotiating the price. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they were negotiating the price. I mean, Chelsea should have given us them for free anyway, but regardless, maybe you're right. I don't know. Emily Lou says, I told you Russo needs to leave Arsenal. Well, she's not going to leave Arsenal, is she? Emily Lou says, Russo is so bad, Steen are going to be sold soon.
I'll be quiet. 6 goals, 3 assists. 6 goals, 3 assists is not bad in the first season.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that a bit later. Wayne says, yeah, Chelsea should have worn their own away socks. If anything, it would have cost them nothing. But outside of that, the performance was a joke. We've got to make it right in a cup final. Yeah, we'll talk about the performance in a minute. You're right, it was a joke. Emily says Arsenal is a joke, keep Jonas forever. Well, we'll talk about that as well. Terry says, why couldn't we have just worn our own socks and put tape around them? But I don't know why we couldn't just wear the red ones that we wore when we played them at home. There'd be no clash with that, would there? I don't understand why we didn't just do that. Anyway, let's have a look and see. LG says, I'm no a kit manager expert, but I always know we always wear red socks when we're away to Chelsea. Shame on a kit manager, no excuses. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, that's what we should have done. Why we came with white socks, I do not know. And yeah, the kit man should be sacked. Of course, if you remember, Vic Akers, of course, one of the greatest ever managers in football history, he started out as a kit man, didn't he? He was kit man for the men's team. He wouldn't have made that mistake. Why don't they just get him back and be kit man again? I'm sure he could do a much better job, couldn't he? In fact, you could probably get a 4-year-old child to do a better job than whoever managed it last weekend. But anyway, that's enough of the socks, really, isn't it? I mean, it was a joke. We know it was a joke. But what was more of a joke in the end was our performance in that first half. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened. What on earth were we doing? I mean, I wasn't too disappointed with the lineup, actually. Stina was starting, which we've been crying out for. Yes, he could have started Leslie with her, but the lineup I thought was okay. But the way we started that game, it was like, was it the sock issue? I don't know. But we came out of that game and it's like we wasn't up for the fight. Against Chelsea, the one thing you've got to do is you've got to be up for a physical battle because that's what they're going to give you. And as it turned out, I didn't even think Chelsea played that well. They didn't have to play that well. We were awful in that first half. That's the worst Arsenal performance since the cup final in 2021, also against Chelsea, funnily enough. It's the worst we've played in that first half since then. It was an embarrassing performance from the first minute to 45. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was just horrible. I don't know what happened. I mean, Andreas, what do you think was wrong there? Because we were all over the place. We had no fight, no battle in us. We just gave the ball away, conceded some of the worst goals you'll ever see. Sunday morning goals they were, weren't they? Most of them goals. Leah Williamson. I mean, I want to come on to Leah Williamson in a minute because I love Leah Williamson, but that is the worst she's ever played in her whole career. That was disgraceful, her performance. Terrible. I mean, what do you think was going on, Andreas, with all that? Because it was just it was a mess, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We were lacking everything. Concentration, passion, fighting spirit, nothing was there in the first half. And on the other side, Chelsea was concentrated from from kickoff, from the first second, they were concentrated. And there was the press conference before the match when Emma Hayes said, you can't always win a match, and she can't expect her team to win every match, but what she expects is a Chelsea performance.
Yeah.
And this was what they were doing. It was a Chelsea performance. Maybe they were not brilliant or perfect, but they were concentrated, they were fighting, there was passion in their match. Every player was concentrated and willing to show their best. And we were on the pitch, but we were not able to hold against them. And we had this one situation with a long ball from Lotta when Hannah Hampton cleared to corner. This was after 10 minutes or so, but this was just one ball we brought in their box. The rest of the first half, Chelsea was dominating, and we can discuss whether it was goalkeeper's mistake for the first goal, or whether it was a lucky third goal when Nuskin just she was standing in the way. She couldn't prevent from giving the ball another direction. Okay, but all in all, after the first half, I thought we were lucky that it's only 3-0. We could have been and I would have said, okay, it's deserved for Chelsea. They were 4, 5, 6 goals better than we were, and I don't understand. For us, it was such an important match. You are 3 points behind Chelsea. You have the chance to get back into the title race, and then such a performance. Where was the passion? What were they discussing in the pre-match? In Jonas' pre-match when he told them what to expect, what he expects from the team, what he expects from the opponents. I don't know what happened. Of course, concentration. Maybe with the sockgate, it was disturbing our concentration or preparation. Okay, and you wear different clothes you are not used to wear. But it doesn't explain such a performance with nothing. But no. enough now.
Right, it does. I mean, regardless of the delay and the socks and all that kind of stuff, that yes, it wasn't ideal, and I'm sure it caused issues. But probably for both teams, because everyone was ready for a 7 o'clock kickoff, and suddenly it's delayed, and it's the same for both teams. It wasn't just us. Yes, we had the issue of trying to run around trying to find socks, I guess, but ultimately the kickoff was delayed, and it's a disruption for both teams, and so that's shouldn't really be an excuse for the way that we played in that first half. I mean, it was, and I don't even think Chelsea played that well. I really don't, and in a way, that's almost given me more confidence for the cup final, because that Chelsea team are beatable. If we played anywhere near our best level, we could have won that game, and that's more annoying for last week, because they were there for the beating because they didn't play that well, but we were so poor that we made it so easy for them. Yes, the goals were a bit fortunate, wasn't they? All deflections, really, wasn't they? The first one, Manu pushed it up in the air and it went in, and the second one was a deflection. The third one was just hit her on the back of the head. We didn't even know about it. So they got lucky with the goals, but even so, you're right. They deserved that lead at half time, and probably deserved more than that, actually. So we could have no complaints, no matter how poor the goals were. But I mean, I was shocked at that performance. I'm not quite sure where it came from. We've lost some games this season, but we've not played like that. We've not played that badly. We've not made that many mistakes in one half of football. It was just mistake after mistake after mistake. And against Chelsea, you make one mistake, they're going to punish you. You make 10 mistakes, you're going to get punished again and again. And we made 50 mistakes in that first half. I mean, Amar, where do you think that performance came from? What do you think was behind the way we approached that game from the start? Because we just wasn't there, was we? We just never turned up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just say it was I don't even know where to start, really. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was watching at times. One thing against Chelsea to come up, you're going to get a performance each and every time, as we know, we've come to know. That's why they're the best team in the land. That's why they've been so dominant under Emma Hayes for so long. Lauren James is the best player, one of the best wingers in the world, even with the weakened side. Even though so much weakened side, they've still got Nushka, they've still got Wright, and they've still got Connerid, for example. And then I don't know, it's almost as if we played with our hands was tied behind our back. Honestly, I've never seen anyone I've never seen us back off. It was almost they didn't even want to put in a challenge. They just backed off. It was like it was almost, how do I describe it? It was embarrassing. It was like waiting on the motorway on the traffic, waiting for something to start moving or something. I do other than acting rather. I honestly don't know. I've never seen anyone just not even put any effort. You would not. Okay, I know I banged on a bit, which I regret sometimes about other teams that we love, and but you wouldn't see that from other teams at the very highest level in such a big game. I don't know what it was. They gave us so much. They gave us so much time and space on the ball. They didn't even put any challenges in, and honestly, they just all those goals. They were just because it allowed so much space in those key areas. There was no desire. There was no hunger. There was no passion. They just didn't even want to put. I don't know whether it's down to the manager, what was done in training, but clearly that was absolutely shocking. They kept getting the ball that was overrun in midfield. There were so many things that's wrong. It was just, as you say, it was like watching the football played in the park on a Sunday morning with some of the stuff that was going on. It was not what you expect of a top level professional side. That arguably, I know we bang on about us being the most successful club in the world, but when you can see now why we've only won one title we haven't won a title in the last 5 years. We were unlucky, yes, 2 years ago, but you can see why. Okay, we've had injuries, but in the big games, especially away from home, we just don't turn up. And as I've been saying this week, other than Chelsea and Manchester United home games, have we had any other really convincing performances? No, but going back to this game, yeah, as I said, honestly, I don't know. And if there's one thing that sums it up was that ball from Leah to try and find from her own free kick. She passes it across halfway the whole length of the pitch to Wally, and it leads to one of their goals. And that just summed up that first half for me, really.
And it kind of summed up Leah Williamson's performance for me as well. I mean, we've spoken about Leah on this channel loads and loads of times. What a fantastic player she is, and how brilliant she's been, and how consistent she is, and how she's one of the best, not only one of the best defenders in the world, one of the best footballers in the world. Mm-hmm. And that was almost like, I was looking at it thinking, if they cloned Leah Williamson and put someone who's never played football before in her like to look like her, and just sent someone out there, the cleaner or something like that. I don't know what it was. That was not a football. That was not a performance from an England captain. That actually was a disgrace. Honestly, whether she's totally fit or not, we're not sure. She's just come back from this injury. Was she actually match fit to play in a game at that level? Clearly not, because what she was doing in that game, all 3 goals were down to Leah Williamson. Quite honestly, her mistakes in the build-ups and in the, her defending. The second goal, why didn't she step up? You know what I mean? Everybody else had stepped up. She stood back, played her onside. As you said, the free kick for that goal, where she just passed it straight to their player, ridiculous. And it all through the game. And it's usually against Chelsea. Sometimes Leah Williamson has had some shockers against, not in a game, but she's had some bad moments. Usually against Sam Kerr. She's had 1 or 2 really bad moments against Sam Kerr, but Sam Kerr wasn't playing in this game. No. There's no excuse for her to make that. I've never, ever seen her do so many mistakes in one game, all one after the other. And she wasn't it's almost like, I got the feeling after the first goal, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was the second goal when she gave away that free kick when she passed to them. It's almost like she lost all confidence completely, and almost like she didn't want to be there. And I would have just taken her off. If I was Jonas, I would have actually taken her off. That's what I'd have brought Leah Cadena on and thought, no, it's not working. Sorry, Leah, something's not right here. You're coming off. And that's what I would have done. Now, is this to do with the fact that she wasn't fully fit? Possibly. Or is it to do with, since she was injured, she started getting involved in a lot more things, fashion, she's appearing at events, she's doing a load of stuff away from football as her focus shifted slightly from football. And when it comes to these big games, these big moments, if your focus isn't 100% there, you're going to get found out. Yeah. And is that what's happened a little bit? Because I don't think Leah's been brilliant since she's come back from her ACL. It's still early days, and it was understandable she's not going to be straight back to her best, obviously. We know that's not going to happen. But she seems to be, I don't know, distracted. And is that to do with her outside of football stuff that's happened in the last year or so? I don't know. But I've never ever. I kept looking at the screen thinking that cannot be Leah Williamson. It can't be her. It's just not possible. Someone's put a Leah Williamson mask on and gone out there and played as Leah Williamson. And I could have played better than that. And I'm 50. I mean, it was terrible. And I'm not even.
You could have played better as well.
I mean, Andreas, what do you think was wrong with Leah? Was it a fitness thing, do you think? Was she just not fit for that game? Match fit, I mean. She's probably fit. She can run for 90 minutes. But was she match fit, match sharp? or was it some other issue going on? I just couldn't understand it.
No, I don't think there are other issues, but yeah, we all see it the same way. It was maybe her worst performance in an Arsenal shirt she ever did, and the problem is she's such a big name. You don't sub her after 30 minutes.
No.
You sub a younger player, but not the English captain. So this is the problem. But it was an extremely bad performance, and probably she's not match fit for this level. But this is the thing between her and the manager. They must discuss it. If Jonas doesn't see this in training, I think he's talking with her, and he says, "Do you feel fit for top level for such a match?" And then she says, "Yeah, I'm match fit. I feel ready. I feel prepared." She must be honest to herself and say, I'm fit for 90 minutes. I'm fit to play, but not on this top level. It was terrible to see, and also sad to see, because we know how good she is, how brilliant performances she brought for us, and then seeing her playing like she's never played before on this level. She was not the only player who was totally out of form on last Friday. But of course, as I said, we are expecting a special level from Leah, and this was nowhere near what she can play, what we expect from her. It was terrible, and I don't think that there are other issues, as you said, for modeling or something like that. She worked really hard in her injury time or in her rehab, and she came back after 9 months, what is very, very early after an ACL, maybe too early. And she said that she focused on her rehab and did everything. Maybe it was she put herself under too much pressure to be back very, very early, and then of course, if you're back, if you're a player like Leah Williamson, if you're the English captain, if you're back, then you want to play, and maybe you want to accept to yourself, I'm not ready for the top level. But the manager must see this in training. He sees them every day in training, and he must see this, and he must then decide and say, sorry, Leah, you can play against Everton or maybe against Bristol, but not against Chelsea. It was terrible to see, because, as I said, we know what she's capable of and what she's able to do, and this was far away from her best.
It was, and I don't want to be feeling like we're sort of singling out one player, because we love Leah Williamson. Right? I love Leah Williamson. She's my favourite player ever. I agree with you, Andreas. It was sad to see, actually. And at the end, she looked like she was almost in tears, because she knew how poor she had been. She knew that. Maybe she should have subbed herself off and said, take me off. It's not my night. Just take me off. And I agree. It's difficult to take off a player like Leah Williamson unless she's injured. It is difficult to do that. But maybe sometimes you've got to think to yourself, you know what, for the benefit of the team tonight, it's not her night. It's just not happening for her. She ended up playing a full game. And the second half she was slightly better, but Chelsea had won the game, so they wasn't really bothered Chelsea in the second half, were they, so much? They were playing on the counter attack, and they still had some chances that we didn't defend particularly well. But it was sad, actually, and I think that was probably the overriding feeling with it, actually, watching her play like that, because it's like, what's happened? Where's the real Leah Williamson? Because this wasn't her. I mean, it was bad to see. It was horrible to see, actually, and but we're not picking on Leah, but she was the worst one out of a number of bad performances on the night. But hers stood out because of how consistently good she is, and I think that's why it stood out. She doesn't normally make those sort of mistakes. She doesn't play that badly usually, so that was probably why. But I mean, we'll forgive her if she plays a great performance in the cup final next week. We'll forgive her, obviously, and it will be fine. But it was bad. It was an absolute shocker. People have bad games, and then there's that. I mean, wow. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's happened and it's gone. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Jonas needed to be a little bit more stronger in his team selection. It's difficult because in training, she probably will look sharp in training. She probably look fit and sharp in training, but that's not the same, is it, as playing a top level game against a top level opposition? And the difference is obvious that just because you might be brilliant in training doesn't necessarily mean. And yeah, maybe Leah needed to be more, but maybe Leah didn't know she wasn't ready until the game started, and it went that way. I don't know, but yeah, it's not great. And yeah, let's hope and pray that was a one-off. I'm sure it will be, looking at her career so far. It's a big game now on Sunday, because I'm sure she needs to play on Sunday, because I don't want her not to play Sunday and then play in a cup final. She needs another game, so she needs to play Sunday, put that behind her, have a great game, get back to normal, and then that's fine, and then the cup final won't be a problem. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Amar, what did you make of Leah? Because I don't think that was a real Leah. I don't think it was a clone. It had to be a clone.
Well, I don't know what it was. Yeah, it's hard to single out a player, but yeah, I don't know what it was. But I've never, as you agree, the whole team as well. I don't know what it was. Just here, but it just backed off, and I don't know. I've never seen her not willing to put in a challenge. You could see even at the end, she was crying towards the fans who did better than that. It's good saying that. Fine, yeah, you make up for all the fan base we have and all the brilliant fans we have. I know. And it's credit to her to come out, but it's just I don't know whether it's the coach or, but I don't know, for me she just didn't quite look ready, as you say. It's not long since she came back from ACL, and Amanda, yes, I know she's had pregnancy. She's going to be a big miss for us actually, though, for me going forward, because she'd actually been pretty solid, even though she got off to a rocky start at the start of the season. But yeah, I don't know now. You said Leah and Lotto's are back now, but yes, you think Amanda had actually been doing all right, and so did like Adina. But again, I think it still shows that we can't just rely on Leah going forward. Those two going forward, yes, they've formed a formidable partnership in the past, but maybe that's where the strength and depth needs to be addressed. And maybe we need to at least look at signing one or two more to cover in the position. I tell you, Laura's been a big miss for us this season as well. So once we get those players back, then we can start. How do I say it? We can start maybe looking forward to a bit more defensive solidity overall. As you said, 4 clean sheets, is it, all season? That's just not title. That's not the form you expect of title-winning teams, is it? And it was Leah's ball across the ball to Volti just summed it up. It was just overrun ultimately. And I don't know. As I said, I've never seen a team not put any effort or challenges in and make it so easy for the opposition. We were bullied almost down the wings as well. It wasn't just Leah. Steph was bullied by Perisay, and was it Perisay? Was it Canarid? Sorry, Canarid bullied Catley, and Perisay bullied. I think it was. Who was our right back again? Caleb. Was it Caleb Ford? Yeah.
Perisay, literally, I've never seen Caitlin Ford get back like she did.
Caitlin Ford playing a right back. I don't know, but yeah, it was just a strange one. It was just the whole team were just fed, and honestly, in the biggest game of the season, you could see why there's a golf in class and why they're serial winners and we're not. And ultimately, that's a problem that needs to be addressed. Is it down to the managerial style? I don't know. I've called it in the past, but I don't know. And then you make all those substitutions in the second half, which maybe we'll touch on later. What's the point? You have to have a settled 11, and if you don't, as we've seen so many times this season, it's good to have options, but you need to have a settled starting 11, and you can't play the same starting 11 every week. We're crying out for changes. He made 6 changes in the game against Manchester United, which we saw after was a reaction to the defeat against Liverpool. But he needs to have done it more often this season. And I don't know. As I said, it wasn't just Leah, as you say. It was just the whole team. And the less said about it, the better, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was an absolute shocker, wasn't it? There's no doubt about that. Mr. Big Beard says there, by the way, Hannah Hampton's long passes have given Chelsea another dimension, unlike the goalkeepers. Yeah, no, I agree with that, yeah. Hannah Hampton's a decent goalkeeper, she always has been. And yeah, you're right. Long balls have made a difference in that game, certainly. It was a different sort of style of Chelsea, wasn't it, than maybe we've been used to over the years. They're sort of evolving their style a bit this season because they've had to, because of the injuries that they've got, the players they've got missing. You know, fair play to them. You know, they were much better than us. But let's not remember, it wasn't that long ago. We did the same thing to them at the Emirates, didn't we? The same thing to them. We could have scored 7 or 8 in that game at the Emirates, and they could have done the same to us. So, you know, it's one each, isn't it, this season? Let's see what happens in the cup final. That's going to be the decider, isn't it, really, I suppose?
And guess what as well? It's on Leah's birthday.
Is it? Oh, well, hopefully
Yeah, it is.
have a better game. Mr. Big Piss says, by the way, Chelsea were not great and Arsenal were more scared of LJ than focusing on their game. Well, I don't know if we were scared of LJ. I mean, obviously, she had a good game. There's no doubt about that. She caused us a lot of problems, but, you know, she did nothing against us at the Emirates. I don't see why we would have gone into that game being worried about her. She played well on the night. Yes, we gave her plenty of space and opportunity to play well, but anyway, there you go. LG says, this is typical of Arsenal. We usually don't turn up when something is on the line. Yes, we beat them in December, but it was early in the season when there was not much pressure. Now, that's true, but we did beat them in a cup final last season when there was pressure because we had to win that game. It was our only real chance, wasn't it? So I wouldn't say we always don't turn up. Yes, quite often that seems to be the case. I agree. We've lost to Chelsea in so many cup finals and big games in recent years, haven't we? But we did win the cup final last year against them. So, you know, and there's always pressure against Chelsea. No matter when in the season it is, there's always some pressure on that game. You can't afford to lose to Chelsea in the league because we know that that's probably going to be decisive. So even in December, I thought there was pressure, you know, going into that game, and we dealt with it. And we have dealt with pressure situations, not consistently enough. I agree. We need to do it every single time. We need to perform under pressure all the time. Of course you do. As if you're going to be successful, you've got to do that. That's what Chelsea do. When they're under pressure, they perform, don't they? They get a result. And if we want to emulate their success, which we do, then we will need to find a way to do that, won't we? More consistently. Not every time, of course. Everyone has bad games, and you can't always do what you need to do. But yeah, it's about consistency, isn't it? And that's what's been lacking this season. That's what's been lacking, isn't it? Consistency. We've been brilliant at times, and we've been not so great at times. And obviously against Chelsea, we were really poor for pretty much the whole game. So there you go. Nuances of Fate says, it shows how unorganised we are. It's a circus if you can't organise the kit. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely right. We can't argue with that. Terry says, we were absolutely a tom tip, but what got my back up was how we were after the game all friendly and happy, laughing and joking about. Well, yeah, some of them were, but don't forget that they're all off the pitch now, that they're all international teammates. They're all friends. And I do think that it happens in the men's game as well. I think it's more in the women's game because I think women are naturally more sociable characters than men anyway. And I do think that you get that more. I wasn't really too bothered about that. Once the game's finished, be friends. That's great. When the 90 minutes are on, kick lumps out of each other. That's fine. As soon as it's finished, be friendly. I've got no problem with that. My problem was how we played in the 95 minutes before that. That was the issue, not what happened afterwards. They're all friends, aren't they? You know, they're in the England team together. You know, there's some from other countries that play in international football together. Of course, they're going to be friendly. You know what I mean? And why not? There's nothing wrong with that, as long as it doesn't happen during the game. It wasn't like they were laughing and joking in the game because they wasn't. We just didn't play very well, and that's what happened. And that's the way it goes, isn't it? Greg says, how can you get a good performance out of a team when you've got players knowing they're going to be subbed every game? Yes, that is a point. But having said that, though, on that issue, and I did want to bring this up slightly, of course, one of the substitutions at half-time against Chelsea was Stina, went off at half-time. And I thought she was one of our best players in the first half. She got no service at all, so you can't blame her for that. But she worked so hard. She was dropping deeper. She was trying her best. She was one of the only players that I thought came out of that first half with any credit at all. I mean, if you was giving them marks out of 10, they'd all have probably got 2, but Stina might have got a 3. Because at least she tried her best. She was running around. She was doing what she could do. She was trying to close down. She was pressing from the front. And she must look behind her and thought, what's everyone else doing? And then she gets taken off at half-time. And Leah Williams was still on the pitch, who had an absolute shocker. It made no sense, that to me. Leave Stina on in the second half, because at least in the second half, she was going to get more opportunities because the game was totally different in the second half because Chelsea weren't going to attack so much. They were going to play on a counter-attack. But anyway, he took her off, and that was that. Nuances of Fate says, Jonas is the elephant in the room. Well, is he? Well, maybe he is. We'll find out, I'm sure, soon enough. Mr. Big P says, please can someone criticise Leah Williamson? Some Arsenal players get away with bad performances. For example, Leah, Beth, Katie and Kim Little in the first half. Well, I mean, we've gone into Leah Williams a little bit too much, maybe, and I do apologise, but it was a bad performance. Greg says players were brought in to strengthen the side, but are all on the bench. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. The new signings generally were on the bench, wasn't they, I suppose? But there you go. You can't play everybody, I guess. But anyway, Terry says, how can you say
Lauren J. Havertz?
This class. She
Lauren J.
went
Havertz.
one-on-one with the Zins. That's and that was like running over. Well, yeah, I mean, she played well there. She caused us problems in the game, didn't she? She didn't. Yeah, she could have scored a couple more goals. I agree. But she did cause us problems, and she was the best player on the pitch, probably, or certainly one of the best players on the pitch on the night. You can't argue with that. Well, I know we don't particularly like her, but she had a decent game. She played well. She caused us problems. And had Lauren James been playing for us, the result may have been different. And that's what you have to say. It's true, isn't it? Emmy Lewis says, imagine these Arsenal players will get banter all their life about the socks.
Yes,
Yeah,
we know you support Chelsea. We know you support Chelsea. Thank you.
But we still beat Chelsea 4-1 in December, and we're going to beat you 4-1 next week as well. So, enjoy it where you can. That's what I say. LG says, I think we have to accept that this is not working with Jonas. Arsenal will not win the league even next season unless something drastic happens in the squad in terms of turnovers. I mean, you might well be right. You might well be right. Maybe this team won't win the league under this manager. But the way I look at it is, and I'm not saying Jonas is the one to bring us all the success that we should be getting, but you've got to think in not even 3 seasons, we've played in 2 cup finals. We've got Champions League quarterfinal, Champions League semi-final, gone within 1 point of winning the league. That's all in 2.5 seasons. Do you know what I mean? And we've got another cup final to come next week where you could win a trophy 2 seasons running, right? And that's not bad. I'm not saying it's brilliant. I'm not saying we should accept that and say that's the way, that's as far as we can go. But in the time he's been there, you have to say that when you look at statistics on what we've won, where we've got to in competitions, how close we've been to maybe winning a couple of others, I don't think it's been bad. I'm not saying it's been brilliant. I don't think it's been bad. And if we do win the cup final next week, he surely deserves, and we get the top 3, which looks like we will, unless we have a real collapse after the Chelsea game. I think he at least deserves next season to see what. And if it's the same happens next season, then I'm 100% with you. He'll have to go. 100% he would. Of course he would. This wouldn't be acceptable. But if we keep winning cups every year, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's difficult to win trophies. It's not easy to win a trophy, especially not now when the standard of everybody's gone up. It's difficult to win trophies, and if we win a trophy 2 seasons running, that's a good effort. Even though it's not the trophy we all want, the main one we all want, it's still a cup, it's still a major trophy, and it will still be 2 in a row, which is more than a lot of other managers have ever managed in their whole career. So come on, some Arsenal managers as well, let's be honest, haven't managed that. So I mean, Andreas, what do you think that it is? The issue is a Jonas issue, or do you think that maybe Jonas is doing the best that he can in the circumstances, or do you think he should be doing better?
It's still difficult to decide because I like Jonas. I like the way he talks about how he sees the team, his tactics. I really love to hear him on press conference, etc. But the problem I have with him is he has a fantastic squad. Maybe we have, together with Chelsea, the best squad in the league. And he doesn't bring out the best of this squad. And he doesn't bring out the best of the players. And we suffered against teams with low blocks. He doesn't have a plan B for this. We lost too many matches against mid-table teams, mediocre teams, Spurs, West Ham, Paris FC, Liverpool, and it's always the same, and there is no progress to be seen. And and he doesn't bring out the best of the team. He doesn't seem to know which is his best lineup for which match. You don't need to have always the same 11 players starting. Change the team when you have 23, 24 world-class players in your squad. Yeah, we all don't like Emma Hayes, but she does this. She rotates 4, 5, 6 players from one match to the next. And so everybody's getting used to play with each other, and she changes the tactics or the lineup when she sees which is the next opponent. And this is what I'm criticizing in Jonas. For the Chelsea match, there were so many players with bad performance. We spoke about Leah. Also, Leah Welty was not good. I think Steph Catley and Caitlin Ford were terrible in this match. You could have changed at halftime 7 or 8 players. Why not starting Emily Fox? She was back from the Gold Cup. She was in training. Yeah, of course she had a long distance journey from the USA. Others had this too, and why not starting Chloe? if you see that Caitlin is overplayed or is out of form, Beth was not on her best for a few matches now. She's always starting, and yeah. And what you have to say about Emma, she signed players like Hannah Hampton or Sjöken Nysken, where I said before they won't get any minutes. And now look at them. Sjöken Nysken is one of the best players this season. And with Hannah Hampton in goal, Chelsea, the style of playing from Chelsea has changed because of her long ball deliveries. This is something I don't see from Jonas. He signs fantastic players, and he's able to convince these players, like Alessia Russo or Emily Fox. He is able to convince them to sign for the Arsenal because of his visions or what he's telling them. But then when they are in his squad, he doesn't use them in the best way. And of course we won the Conti Cup, and maybe next week we all hope that we win the Conti Cup again. But we are struggling for the third place. Of course, we are 6 points ahead of United. But what if we lose against Villa on Sunday? Yeah, and United. And it's a very close thing for the third place. And with this squad, we should not struggle to come in as third in the league. We should at least compete for the title. If you don't win the title, like 2 seasons ago, when one point was the difference, okay, but competing for the title until near the last weekend, this should be our goal with this squad. And these are things I have to criticize Jonas. And as I said a few weeks ago, the matches are not decided on his laptop or on paper. He must bring the best out of the players, that they bring their best performance on the pitch. And this doesn't happen in the last weeks.
No, it doesn't. And it has probably been a recurring theme generally, hasn't it? I mean, you're right what you said about losing to mediocre teams. That's not just this season. Yeah, this season it's happened more. But, Jonas's first season, it was Birmingham we lost to, a team we should be beating. This season, as we've said, last season we lost a couple of silly games that we should not have lost to. And these things have been happening. And the only thing I would say, everyone says about the great squad that we've got, and it is a great squad, but this squad now is a new squad, isn't it? Because we've, over the last year or so, we've got a lot of new players. Emily Fox has only just joined. Obviously Leslie only came last summer. So it's still quite a new squad. And maybe they're adapting to him, maybe he's adapting to them, and maybe next season it'll all fall into place and we'll run away with it all. Maybe we will. And I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen, and I'm not necessarily saying that Jonas can do that, but I still think that there's a few questions that are unanswered, and I don't know whether or not time is going to be the thing. Maybe next season, to me, there's no excuses. This season we have had the ACL issue. Yes, the players are fit, but they're not really fit because they've had a year out. They're not at their best yet. You can almost write off the season for Laura. She's hardly going to play. You can almost write off the season for Leah Williamson in many ways, although she's now playing to be at her best level, even best levels. Look at Viv. She's hardly played. She's not going to play for the rest of this season probably. So they are big players that haven't been able to be at their top level, and that's a big miss, no matter how strong your squad is. And I think these are issues that need to be taken into. I'm not trying to make excuses for the manager because he's made mistakes. There's no question about that. He's made mistakes. He's got things wrong. He's made wrong team selections. He's made wrong substitutions. He's got things wrong. And he hasn't motivated the team at certain aspects of the game Friday, as we know. But I do think there's some mitigating circumstances along the way that maybe we need to look at. But next season, for me, is no excuse. These players will be, the ACL gang will be back, pretty much back to full fitness. We've got the new players that we bought this season would have had a season to settle in. We'll probably get some new players next season. For me, there's no excuses next season. I agree with Andreas. If we're not challenging for the title next season right the way through to the end, then and we don't have a decent Champions League run, he would have to go at that point. I would agree. I think that'd be it. He's had a good go. He's done okay, but not quite what we need at that level that we need. But not yet. I mean, I know, Amar, you're not Jonas's biggest fan. I know that. But do you think that in the circumstances, I mean, is there? I mean, we're not going to change the manager now, even if we lose a cup final. We're not going to change Jonas to at least the end of the season. Do you think that if we win the Continental Cup this season, with everything else that's happened, does he deserve at least another season to try and get the best out of this group of players? When he's had some issues, because the top players in our squad have not been 100% fit all season.
No, and that's shown, hasn't it? If you think about, okay, fine, I'd maybe have some sympathy. I said on the injury front, Laura has been a big miss. I think when she's fit, it gives you again an option. Who do you play at right back? Where probably you could play Emily Fox as a wing back and maybe Dean Reuter, as the natural right back. But yeah, now going on to your point, maybe I have criticised him too soon, but I just think he needs to have a more settled starting 11. Okay, you've missed a lot of key players, fine. They're coming back from injury. It's not easy to come back. And I hope, fingers crossed, going forward, he did manage to get the best out of them last season, to be honest. And to win the Conti Cup, we did well. To reach a Champions League semi-final, we were seconds away from reaching, at least maybe moving a lottery away. But, I just think he needs to have a more settled starting 11. Look, it's the inconsistencies that cost us this season. We followed, it's like one step forward with a win against Chelsea, for example, Manchester United, 2 steps back. And you think, look at the performances we had in the Cups against City, against Spurs in the league, against, as we saw last week. It's infuriating in a way because you've got all that talent in that squad, but I just think he's just guilty for me for overplaying certain players, and he needs to rotate a bit more. How many have we called? We've seen it once this season. Start Leslie and Steiner up front, for example. Do that in the Conti Cup final. Give the other position something different to think about, because as Andreas rightly mentioned, we struggled with the low block when we tried to play through teams. Maybe try and mix up a bit. Maybe just switch the play and add a bit more pace going forward, and get the wingers involved, whatever. But Conti Cup, okay, people will say it's papering over the cracks, but we should be aiming higher as a club with our rich history going forward, not just relying on these. Okay, yes, trophy is a trophy, I agree. Okay, I don't want to write it off like I do with the Carabao Cup or Community Shield as I've done in the past, but we should be aiming higher. And he's had 3 seasons, he's had a lot of injuries. But going forward next season, there cannot be any excuses. He has to know his best settled starting 11. He has to try and get more out of them, and there has to be consistency throughout the season, as we showed in his first season. That was good, but unfortunately, he's felt as I said, extenuating circumstances have had their say. But going forward, okay, hopefully we don't have an injury crisis going forward like we have been. But next season we have to be flawless from the off, and that goes down to the manager to instill the belief and enjoyment. He was talking. I saw an interview earlier on Arsenal.com a bit. He said we've lost that enjoyment in the team. Well, try to make them enjoy the game more. Know what you got them out of them in the first season. Yes, it's a new squad, but we need you to also change your tactics and adapt to the opposition more if we are to be where Chelsea and Man City are going forward, because we know we are capable of challenging for a title, and now going forward we need to prove it.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, the Manchester City one's quite interesting because they haven't won a lot of stuff, have they?
True.
But they're always there or thereabouts. They seem to, they won the Conti Cup, didn't they, a couple of years ago? They don't win. They haven't won a lot of trophies, considering they've had quite a settled team for quite a number of years. I don't know. And it's quite an interesting one with City because they don't seem to get the criticism for not winning the league that Arsenal seem to get. Yes, Arsenal, a bigger club, much more historic success, but we've had quite a lot of upheaval at our club over the last few years with different managers and the injuries and stuff like that. Man City have been very settled, and they still haven't really achieved an awful lot, have they? They kind of get a free ride almost a little bit more than what we do. We've got high expectations, and we should have, because we're Arsenal and we should expect a lot more than what we get. And absolutely, I agree with that. But I don't know. I think there's been extenuating circumstances to a certain degree. But I agree. Next season, that's the one. He's got. There's no more excuses for anybody next season. And if we haven't made significant progress from the last 2 seasons, which I think this season and last season quite similar, aren't they? This season we didn't have the Champions League, but other than that, the seasons have been quite similar, and we need to see progress next season. We need to see a big step forward. Otherwise, I do feel as though that will be the end for him. Darren's with us. He says, "Sorry, I'm late, chaps. Any Arteta crap from Am I yet? No, not yet. We're trying to stay away from Arteta.
Not Arteta crap. It's the truth.
We'll wait and get on to another time." LG says the problem is this team is there are players who play no matter what, who are made indispensable. Players like Lear and Viv and sometimes Bev haven't been firing since injuries. They've not been firing since their injuries. None of them have particularly. But the only way they're going to be able to overcome that is to play football. It's no good leaving them on the bench, because they're never going to get that Match sharpness back, are they? And it's a tough one because you've got to play them But yes, they've not been at their best. Absolutely, we know Viv's not been anywhere near her best since she's come back, and we might not see her again for a while. Mr. Big Pierce says there the ACL excuse must stop from Arsenal fans. Macario spent 20 months injured with ACL, and she's had a goal involved in 4 games. Yeah, but look at Beth. When Beth first came back, she scored 3 goals in 3 games and had a few assists as well. And then she's gone off the boil a little bit. And I'm sure Macario will go off the boil as well, because when you've had that long out injured, it's easy to have a good 3 or 4 or 5 games. The momentum takes you through, the adrenaline, but then it's not gonna last, and she'll have the same problems that Beth's been having. Absolutely, nobody hits the ground running gets straight back to their best completely all the time straight after a long injury like that. It doesn't happen. You know, Beth had the same start from her injury, and now she's finding it more difficult, and it'll be the same. It'll absolutely be the same. But we'll see what happens. LG says there are also players like Ford do start no matter their form. There'll be another player who can take our place. Yeah, you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I said he's made mistakes, Jonas. He does, and there's no question about that. Terry says, LG, we don't often agree, but 100% agree with that statement. Yeah, I think we all do. I think we definitely all do. Mr. Big Fish says Periset was player of the match. She pocketed full. Now she had a great game. She was brilliant. There was a few Chelsea players that were better than the battles against our players. They won nearly all of them, didn't they? Chelsea players in the whole game. So there you go. Darren says must have been a Katie clone as well. Worst game ever. Yeah, she wasn't great. There was a few. You're right. It was maybe they was all cloned. Maybe Emma cloned them all and sent out the clones. That was what it wasn't. Socks that were the problem. They were cloning our players, so then get the clowns on the pitch. That's what it was. That's what it took half an hour. It wasn't socks. Socks weren't the problem. Yeah, obviously it wasn't. They were all clones. I think that's what's happened. Royston, this will make Terry happy.
That's
Royston
not going to happen. No chance. No
she's been the most consistent player for the last 3 years. Signing Russo showed intent. Now finished the job. We must sign Lauren James. What are we waiting for? Well, she's not going to leave Chelsea for a start off, so I think that's one thing. It's not so much us not waiting for it. I know Terry's going to love you for that comment. To be fair, she's a great player. There's no doubt she's a great player. We don't like her particularly, but she is a great player. And would she be the right signing for Arsenal? I don't think she would be a good signing for Arsenal. Not just on the pitch, yes, she's a good player, but I don't know her character and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if she's the right fit for Arsenal. Obviously, she was an Arsenal player, you know. Terry says, Aaliyah's had one bad game and it just happened to be whilst wearing Salty FC socks. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, they all did, didn't they? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the socks. Maybe them socks were cursed. Maybe that's what it was. Darren says, if James comes back to Arsenal, I'm done. More stamps than a post office. Well, yeah, no, I agree. We don't really want her, even though she's a good player. I agree. LG says Leah's birthday is Friday the 29th.
Sorry. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, it's her birthday weekend, isn't it? And it's Easter as well. So what a better time to have your birthday than at Easter, when all the good things rise and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that's what's going to happen. But we shall see. Gunnar Dad says you are correct. LG final is the 31st. Yeah, the final is the 31st. Yeah. Terry says we're willing to keep Arteta but want Jonas out. Well, I'm the other way around. I'd rather keep Jonas and get rid of Arteta. But there you go. I know you feel the same. But there you go. Greg says we're near the end of the season and we still don't have a settled side.
True.
No, we don't. I think one of the problems is when you've got a squad of 25 players that are all on a good level, it's difficult to get a settled side because you can't keep good players on. I mean, look, even Steen has been on the bench a lot of the season. She started to get more games recently. You can't keep good players on the bench forever. You have to give them game time. They deserve game time, and you know they're going to be able to make an impact. And that's one of the reasons. Maybe the squad's too big. Maybe next season we need to trim it back a little bit. I know last season we had injury problems, but it's difficult, isn't it? Because you can't keep. We've got basically 2 starting 11s that would be good enough to compete in the top 3 or 4 in the league. Absolutely. But you can't keep them all on the bench. You have to rotate. You have to. It's tough. I don't envy Jonas the job of having to pick the team every week. I don't, because it's tough to leave players out. Really, really good, top quality players, leaving them on the bench. It's tough to do that. But that's his job. He gets paid for it. So, he's got to do it better, obviously. But it's tough, isn't it? We have got a very deep squad and maybe a little bit too deep. I don't know. LG says we used to be a cup team from 2014 to 2019. Don't forget that. Cups are good. But the perimeter should be League and Champions League. We won FA Cups under Wenger, but he didn't take us anywhere. No, I agree. I'm not saying that winning a Continental Cup for the next 4 years is enough. It's not. But I think in the circumstances of last season and this season, that's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. next season it's not okay. It's not good enough next season. And if we win it again next season, it's not going to be enough. If we're third in the league again, if we're getting knocked out of the Champions League early on, if we don't compete for the title, yeah, it's not enough. Absolutely not. Terry says, I like Jonas as a person, but he does need to toughen up on the girls. Yeah, I think he maybe does, yeah. Darren says, does anyone think Jonas has lost
about that?
Well, he certainly hasn't lost his dressing room because he's got a nice coat, hasn't he? He's got this nice new coat he's got recently. But so he's not lost his dressing room, has he? But has he lost the actual dressing room? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The evidence on Friday suggested he did. But let's see. The reaction is what's important, isn't it? And that's how you know. If a manager's lost the dressing room, they have a bad game, they have another bad game, another bad game, and that's how it goes, isn't it? If the manager hasn't lost the dressing room, they have one bad game. The next game, like Chelsea when they played us, we hammered them at the Emirates. They respond to that. Let's see how we respond on Sunday. We'll talk about it in a minute. But that's when we'll know. We'll know if he's lost the dressing room if we play like that again. Greg says, not one of the starting lineup played well. They were totally absolutely no, they didn't. You're right. None of them played well. You're absolutely right. LG says, spot on, Andreas. When you have such a squad at your disposal, you should be doing better. If we had Emma Hayes, 100% we win the league. Yeah, of course. A great manager makes a big difference. Of course, there's no doubt about that. Of course, Emma Hayes with our squad of players would win the league. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the same way with the men's team last year, if Pep Guardiola was Arsenal manager, we would have won the league last season.
Oh, it's so easy to say that.
Great managers give you an extra 10 points a season. Absolutely, of course they do. That's why they paid big bucks, because that's what they do. That's their job. And I agree with you 100%. Emma Hayes would probably win us the league with the group of players that we've got. She probably would, because she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She's done it before. So I agree with you 100%. I do. I definitely agree with that. But does that mean we have to get rid of Jonas now? We can't get Emma Hayes because Emma Hayes is going off to America. So if we get rid of Jonas, we need to get someone else in. Will they be as good as Emma Hayes? Probably not. There aren't many that are. There's not many of the managers that are as good as Emma Hayes. So it's Darren says there, pigs will fly before Jonas wins. Maybe you're right. We'll see, won't we? But we do like him. Greg says, will players like Fox, Lacasse and Russo say if they're only used as bit players? Well, exactly, but you have to use your. I mean, Lacasse is a bit player, isn't she? Let's be honest. She's not. She doesn't start many games. Emily Lou says Chelsea is a team everyone dreams of playing for.
Well, it's Barcelona.
And why have we got the squad of players that we've got? Then why didn't all of those? Why didn't Leslie Russo join Chelsea? Why didn't Emily Fox join Chelsea? Why didn't all these players that we've got? Why didn't Stina Blackstenius join Chelsea? Why didn't Viv Miedemar join Chelsea? Why didn't all those players join Chelsea? They didn't join Chelsea because not everybody does dream of playing for Chelsea. Because Chelsea didn't exist 5 years ago, 6 years ago. No one cared. No one cares now, apart from you and about 12 other people that at Stamford Bridge that were Chelsea fans the other night. No one cares about Chelsea, do they? Emily Lou says Miedemar would cook in Chelsea. No, she wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't. Oh, God. Why was she linked with Barcelona? Why 2 years ago was she linked with Barcelona then? She was never linked with Chelsea. She wanted to go to Barca, but we kept her.
She wouldn't even go to Chelsea. No Arsenal player would go to Chelsea, would they? Apart from the crap ones like Lauren James. They're the only ones that would go to Chelsea. Terry says Arsenal can't afford to have two Havertz on their books. One is bad enough. That's true. One Havertz is bad enough, but he's doing all right. Nuances of Fate says, with a squad as good as ours, to not really be changing for the league or champs reflects poorly on Jonas. Someone needs to say it. Maybe no, it does reflect badly on him. Absolutely, of course it does. He's the manager. The managers are responsible for results. Absolutely, they are, and you have to say it does. It does reflect poorly on him. You're right. I agree with you, but. He's not going to go right now, is he? Let's see what happens at the end of the season. Terry says, when Salty FC get demoted, the whole club will fall apart. Looking forward to watching Herne Baby, Salty FC in the South East Division. Well, I don't know if that's going to ever happen, Terry, but anyway, nice if it did.
Look at LG next comment.
Yeah. Darren says our squad is pound for pound better than Chelsea. Difference is quite clear. The manager, yeah, I don't think there's much argument there. But what manager is as good as Emma Hayes? There's not many around, is there? She's the best. She is the. There's no. We don't like her. We don't like her, but she's the best. That's the way. It's like Sir Alex Ferguson when he was manager Man U. We didn't like him, but he was the best. You can't argue with it. The facts are there, aren't they? The results are there, and yeah, it makes a difference. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. Emily Lou says you Gooners are so salty. That's why you never
Shut up.
Well, I mean, we did beat you in a cup final last year. We're going to beat you in a cup final again next week. So we do win trophies. We've won more trophies than Chelsea will ever win in their entire history ever already. We've won the most FA Cups, the most leagues. We've won the Champions League. Chelsea haven't. We've won the most League Cups. So, yeah, you know, Chelsea have lost their last 2 League Cup finals, haven't they? So, you know, let's not get carried away. And when Emma Hayes leaves, that's it. Maybe Chelsea will be relegated. Maybe Terry's right. As soon as Emma leaves, they are gone. They are gone. So don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. So, of course, as we said, it's not about how badly you play in one game. It's about how you respond to a bad performance. That's the markings of a team, isn't it? And we've got an opportunity on Sunday playing against a team that we've got a decent record against over the last few years. So let's see what's going to happen on the weekend. Now, of course, as we know, Aston Villa are like an ex-Arsenal team, aren't they? They've got so many of our ex-players, it seems, in their team. They're almost like our reserves, aren't they? Of course. But they're a team that generally we do well against away from home. We've got a good record at Villa Park. We generally do well there. So, obviously, we beat them 4-0 very recently in the Cup. Not that that matters because they're going to be more fired up. No one likes to lose a game like that, do they? Whenever you've played badly in your next game against that team, you want to prove a point, and I'm sure Villa will, and they are at home, and it's going to be a good opportunity for us. But what we have to do is just have a response to the Chelsea game now. That's all we need to do.
Absolutely.
Whether we win the game or lose the game, yes, we don't want to lose the game, obviously. But what's important is the response to that performance. You want to see an Arsenal team go out there on Sunday and say, you know what, as Emma said, when we beat them 4-1, that's not an Arsenal performance. That's not acceptable. And we've got to put an Arsenal performance in on Sunday against Aston Villa. And if we do that, obviously we should win the game because we're a better team than them. We know that. But it's the response to that game, isn't it? I mean, Andreas, do you think we've got this about us now that we're going to go to Villa, we're going to respond, and we're going to show the world that Friday was a one-off, there was circumstances around it, whatever it was, and we're going to bounce back and show the world that we are still the greatest team ever? Going into that cup final with confidence. Do you think we're going to do that, or is it going to be another disjointed performance?
Yeah, we have to show a response, and yeah, there must be a better performance. Yeah, of course, we've beaten Villa 4-0 in the Conti Cup, but remember how we struggled in the league match? We only won with 2 goals in stoppage time. Last match last season, we lost at home 2-0 to them. So, don't underestimate them. But for Villa, it's the same what I said about Jonas and our squad. On paper, they have a very good squad. On paper, they should fight for 4th or at least 5th position in the league. And what are they doing? They're 7th or 8th, and they are happy when they can beat Bristol or Brighton or Everton. So yeah, there are problems in the Villa team. I don't know which problems they have, but maybe Carla Ward she's underperforming with her squad. So this is dangerous. If they play at their top level, then they are very competitive, and yeah, we must be careful. We know players like Jordan Knox or Kenza Dali or Rachel Daly. It's not to underestimate. And after this bad performance, where is our self-confidence for this match? I think pressure is high. Every player knows that there must be a response. We need the 3 points to keep the 3rd place. It's difficult. I see the pressure on them, and also everybody will have the Conti Cup final in mind, and everybody wants to win and gain self-confidence for the final 1 week later. Let's hope that players who were totally off form last week, that they are performing better. And of course, I hope that Jonas finds the right starting 11, not always the same players. He must, in my opinion, he must accept that Caitlin needs a rest, and Katie was bad. So why not playing Katie on left back and Emily on right back? Rest Caitlin, give Chloe a chance. If the rumors are true that Leah is injured, I read today that
true.
Swiss reported that she's injured and may miss the rest of the season, but it's not confirmed from Arsenal so far. Anyway, if she's injured or has a slight issue, then start Kyra. She had great performances. Change something in the lineup, and of course, find the right tactics, because another defeat would be terrible for the league situation, but the more for the self-confidence 1 week before the Conti Cup final. So we need to win, and let's all hope the best. And we fans, let's be confident that the players go out and show their best performance and win the game. That's what I expect for the match at Villa. I don't want any more excuses. I want to win.
Yes.
Confident win, and
That is the key, isn't it? With the cup final, the next game after, we need a good performance, and I do think a confidence is going to be key, isn't it? You know, going into the game against Chelsea in the final, we need to go into it with some sort of confidence restored. Another poor performance, even if we was to beat Aston Villa, if we didn't play particularly well, and some players still had bad games, you've got to wonder how they're going to feel going into that cup final. So I want to see the result. Obviously, is important. We want to win the game, but for me, I want to see a good performance, a confidence-building performance that we can then go not only for the team but for us as well as fans. We don't want to go to the cup final next week and worry about, Jesus Christ, that's 2 poor performances in a row. We don't want to be doing that. We want to be looking back and thinking, you know what? Yes, okay, Chelsea was bad, but look at the response. Look what this team can do, and we'd be confident that we can go and do that the next week as well. So the performance on Sunday is so important, is so vital, that we do bounce back, produce a great. And you're right. What would the team selection be? I would agree. I would go Katie McCabe at left back and Emily Fox at right back. Absolutely, I would. And I would definitely want to be looking at Chloe Lacasse on the left-hand side instead of Caitlin Ford. I would definitely do that. And obviously I'd play Stina and Leslie together. Another game on a cup final. That's what I would do, because it would be another good opportunity. Look, let's see if this can work, because it's worked before in a couple of games. Let's see if it can work, and that could be a good weapon for the final. So that's what I would personally do. And despite how badly Leah Williamson played, I would play her on Sunday, say, to get that confidence back. I wouldn't want to play her in the cup, risk playing her in the cup final. Last game with that. That's what I would do. But who knows what Jonas is going to pick? We never know with him, do we? It's a strange one with him. You never quite know what to expect. But let's just hope for a good response, a great response, a good performance, and hopefully that will lead to a good win, because we are better than Villa. There's no doubt. Everybody knows that. I mean, Emma, what are you expecting on Sunday? Are you expecting this response, or do you think maybe the hangover from the Chelsea game could have an impact, and maybe a little bit of confidence could be knocked, and it might be a struggle, mightn't it?
I mean, we're not used to seeing back-to-back poor performances from this team, but you expect a reaction. They can't play as poorly as that. Yeah, they apologise for that performance, but now we need to show the true Arsenal, what we've come to love and expect over for this team. Joe did the best he could, after his first season. We need a reaction, and we can, if we want to have a chance of winning Conti Cup final, we need to show we're capable of this performance, as we've shown on the odd occasion. Okay, it's been a bit few and far between, but we know what we're capable of and showing under this manager. So I know Aston Villa have been thin on the ground, as I was just reading the injuries. We've only conceded, I think it's 1 goal in 3 away games against them. We've had some good wins. They've made us work hard for it in the past, but we need to show that we want to win something this season, to send it back to Chelsea. They will be hurting after that. It's fine, but you'd expect, as I said, you'd expect a reaction of some kind, and we just want to see the best of. We just want to see our players perform to the maximum potential. And hopefully a few goals would be nice. We can take some momentum, forget about it. We've had 9 days to rest in the cover, put that behind them, show what you're truly made of, play for the badge, and hopefully we'll have something to take into next week. And I don't know, what should I go for score prediction? I'm it's a bit knocked off the last week, but considering how poor Aston Villa have been this season, leading 6s and 5-4s at home against like Chelsea and Spurs, and I don't know who else they've lost at home this season. Okay, they beat Everton last week, but I'm confident if we can somehow just play to our potential and continue our good recent form against them. Okay, we only just beat them 4-0. Let's not forget, only a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely took them to shreds. It was almost a complete antithesis of the performance against Chelsea. So if we can play like that, yeah, I'll go for, I don't know. It's a difficult one, but I'd probably say 3-1 to Arsenal.
Oh.
Well, 3-1 would be nice. We'll take a 3-1. Terry's just gone for the 8-0 this week. He's feeling not quite optimistic after last week's game.
What's in his name? He's not surprised he got 8. Terry 8.
Greg says, could be double figures if we go out to prove a point. Well, yeah, I mean, Aston Villa have been poor. There's no doubt about it, but I'm not sure it's going to. I think our confidence would have been knocked last week as well, so we have to bear that in mind. Andreas, you didn't give us your score prediction, did you? What's your score prediction? Amal gone 3-1.
I stolen mine.
Okay.
I don't want to think about another loss or a draw. We will win there, and the problem is that we always concede silly goals. So I can't say that we win 2-0. So 3-1 is already to Amar. So it's
oh, you can have mine again. Absolutely fine. I don't mind. Have mine as well. Have it, mate. It's fine. Yeah.
I was thinking about the 3-1, but okay, let's say 2-1. But anyway, we are winning. I don't want to think of anything else because that's not acceptable for us.
No.
3 points.
No. Yeah, absolutely. 3 points is. I say I want to see a performance that shows we've responded to last week. That's what I want to see as well. I mean, I think our 3 previous wins at Villa Park, I think away at Villa, have been 4-0, 4-0, and 4-1. Yes. So I think we'll score 4 again. We scored 4 against them recently. I'm going to go 4-1 again because we will probably concede a stupid goal because we generally do. I think Rachel Daly will probably score it more likely. So I'm going to go 4-1. I think we'll respond to what happened last week. I think we might start a bit slowly while we get into things and we try to keep the ball for a bit, get confidence back, and then I think we'll get going. We'll get a couple of goals and then we'll go on and win quite comfortably. So I'm going to go 4-1, and that will put us in good frame of mind, won't it, for the cup final. Darren says Amilu, Champions of Europe, the only one in the land. Yeah, what we'll have to sing on when we're at the cup final is it Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that because they won't, will they? Because they're never going to win it, are they? We're the only ones, and we're the only ones that will do. Royston says I'm starting a Lauren James Arsenal fan club. Would we have taken Harry Kane in his prime? She's a great player. Of course, we can sign her. We got Russo. I want the best at Arsenal. She's the best. Well, I don't say she's the best. She's good. I don't think there's much doubt about that. But I think there's more to it with Lauren James. I don't think it's just about her ability on the pitch. I think it's about her character and it's about her mentality and that kind of stuff. I don't think she's a good fit for Arsenal. I know she was at Arsenal, of course, as a younger player, but I don't think she's a right fit now. Not on ability-wise. I mean, the other side of it. And I think that's all important, isn't it? I think characters are important in football. And if she's not got the right character, and as much as she's a good player, and I think Harry Kane is slightly different. Harry Kane's character has always been great, I think. And he's always been the ultimate professional. And of course he would have taken Harry Kane. And a boyhood Arsenal fan, of course he would have taken him. Absolutely. I don't think you can compare Harry Kane and Lauren James. I think Harry Kane has proven himself at the top level for a long, long time. And Lauren James hasn't done that yet, and I still think our attitude is an issue, whereas Harry Kane's never has been. So I don't think you can compare them. Of course, I'd have taken Harry Kane all that. Of course we would have. Despite what we used to say when we played against him, of course we would have taken him, wouldn't we? Terry says, start this game with the cup final first 11. Well, maybe it will be. We'll see, won't we? We'll see what the starting 11 is on Sunday, and then we'll see what it is at Wolves. The journeyman's been saying, good to see you. Darren says she is lazy, dirty, bad temperament, not a team player. Self-respects back. Yes, I hate that. No, fair enough. I mean, see, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not saying think she's lazy. I think she's got that attitude on the pitch. It looks as though she's I don't think she is lazy necessarily. I think she's got a bad temperament. I do think she's dirty, and I don't think she's particularly a team player. No, I think she's very greedy. And these are all the reasons why I wouldn't sign her. But she's a good player. With the right management, I think maybe they could knock her into shape and make her a better all-round team player. I think Serena's been trying that at England a little bit more. You've seen her play differently for England as she does for Chelsea. And I think with a different type of manager, maybe she could really flourish. But I wouldn't want to see her at Arsenal, absolutely not. But that's just me. But there you go. I'm sure she'll have a great career. Greg says LJ is not and never would be good enough for Arsenal. She plays for herself and not the team. Yeah, that's what we make. Yeah, that's exactly, these are the points that we're making. Exactly, you're right. We've got Ivagoru says totally agree, Darren. She strolls around like she's the best player in the world. Yeah, she's got that. I say she's got that attitude, doesn't she? That's what I don't like. Emily Lou says Chelsea have been English giant for about 15 years.
15 years? Where did you get that from? 15 years.
And even if they had for 15 years, Arsenal have been the top English team for like 40 years.
30 years.
Nearly 40 years. So, so what? 15 years is nothing, is it? Even if it was 15 years, which it isn't. Emily Lou says, be real, Chelsea women have made English Women's Super League around the world. Well, you see, you say that, right? There was an article this week that's been published to say that the WSL attendances this season have broken the record already. Take out Arsenal's games and it wouldn't have done. So who's contributed to the fact that the WSL is now the biggest league in the world? Who's contributed to Arsenal have? We're the ones who sell out our stadium. You can't even half fill your stadium. You've got Champions League games. No one's interested. You're having to sell the tickets for £2 because no one wants to buy it. Nobody is interested in Chelsea women. They don't have it. Arsenal, we can't get a big enough. We could sell out Wembley as our home stadium every single game. We'd sell it out. You can't even sell out Kings Meadow, let alone Stamford Bridge. Come on, get real. Get real. Chelsea are a tiny little club that's just had a little bit of success in recent years. That's it. Arsenal are the real deal, and you'll never ever be Arsenal as much as you want to be. Like Emma Hayes, she learned everything under at Arsenal when she was at Arsenal under Vic Akers. She's always wanted to be Arsenal manager. She never will be, and Chelsea will never be Arsenal in the same way. So that's just the way it is, isn't it? Emily Lou says, when will Arsenal get back to glory? Next Sunday.
Sooner.
When we have your team about
Chelsea win the Champions League? When will Chelsea win the Champions League?
Oh yeah, they won't ever. They'll never win anything. They just win the WSL, and while Emma Hayes is there, and then she'll go, and you won't win anything for 20 years. You just won't. You'll be like the men's team. Team have gone down. Exactly the same. That's what's happening next few years. So get used to it. You'll be coming on this show next year. You'll be supporting Arsenal because we're going to be winning stuff and you're not.
Well, we don't want to support Arsenal. You can have it.
Greg says Chelsea arrogance is bad. Well, it is, yeah, but let them crack on. We don't mind. LG says, imagine if Arsenal still had Lauren James, Chloe Kelly, Caroline Weir, and all those players. Well, imagine if we still had, all those other players from the 1990s that have now all retired, Alex Scott and all the others. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not what happens in football, is it? You have to make do with the players that you've got. Chloe Kelly was all right at Arsenal, I suppose. Caroline Weir, yeah, brilliant. Lauren James never really made it at Arsenal, did she? So I don't think that that's really a thing. Everyone who says around, no one's even heard of Chelsea around the world. No one's even heard of them. Yeah. You go to any country in the world and say WSL football, they'll say Arsenal. The first team they'll say will be Arsenal. And then the second team they'll say will probably be Manchester City or Manchester United. Chelsea won't even get a look in. No one's heard of Chelsea. No one knows. If you used to wear a Chelsea shirt around the world, no one knows who they are. They'd say, what shirt are you wearing? I've never seen that one before. You wear an Arsenal shirt, everybody's round you. Oh, we love Arsenal. We love Arsenal. That's the difference. That is the difference. We're a proper football club with proper history, men and women. Chelsea are nothing. Chelsea are just, a tiny little blot that's had a bit of success because they had a little bit of money for a while. That's it. They'll never be Arsenal, ever. As much as they'd love to be, they never will be. Same as Spurs won't ever be Arsenal. Man City will never be Arsenal. Arsenal are just Arsenal. That's it. We're the top. And no one can ever come close. Wayne says, we're a very squeaky clean club. I feel family friendly. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, we are. Of course we are. We do things the right way most of the time. Not always, but most of the time we do. Terry says, we do have around 5,000 per game, but 3,800. They're a camera crew. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't get 5,000, do they? I don't think they do anyway. Everyone who says, trust me, Chelsea women have more fans than Arsenal women around the world. No, they don't. Even in England, come on, don't be silly. Chelsea ticket prices are high. And Chelsea media
that's why you don't get a high turnout.
No, I'm sorry. Chelsea do not have more fans than Arsenal. I'm sorry, they don't.
I'm sorry, they don't.
That is a ridiculous comment. I mean, I know you're joking probably, and if you are, fair play, but that is literally not true, is it? Arsenal have sold out the Emirates numerous occasions. You wouldn't look at the crowd last week at Stamford Bridge. 3/4 of that crowd were Arsenal fans. That was your home game. Arsenal fans were everywhere in that stadium. When the goal went in, it was silent. You had a few little Chelsea fans, a few thousand Chelsea fans in a corner celebrating. The rest of the ground was silent. You was at home, and it was like you was playing away. Come on, Chelsea have got no fans whatsoever. Nobody cares about Chelsea women. They only care about Emma Hayes, and when she leaves, that's it. You're going to struggle to get anybody turning up next season. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. I don't know where you're coming from with all that. Darren says, "Why is Salty Emma Lou in the chat?" Maybe it's because Salty FC don't have enough fans to have their own chat. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Why aren't you watching the Chelsea fans channel? Because they haven't got one, have they? Because no one cares about Chelsea. Come on. You're right, Darren. That's a great point, actually. Yes, that is a great point. That is why she's in our chat, because we've got the fans to do it. Wayne says, I say this all the time to these plastic Chelsea fans. Arsenal literally birthed Chelsea, manager players. Emma Hayes had a pick with a quadruple team the day after. Exactly. That's what they are. You're right, absolutely, exactly. There you go. Emily says Chelsea have 4 million followers on Instagram. Oh, I see. Right. So they have 4 million followers on Instagram. That's because it's fans of every other club that are laughing at how ridiculous their players are. That's all it is. Having followers on Instagram means nothing. When you're going to realise that, it's actually having people in the stadium that want to come and watch you play. People that want to watch you play when you're on the telly. People that get up at 4 o'clock in the morning all over the world to watch your team play. That's what matters. Not how many Instagram followers they have. That's ridiculous. Nobody cares about Instagram. Instagram's for 4-year-olds. Come on. Greg says Chelsea crowds have a lot of training refs and Emma Hayes to give them talks on how to rest of the games. Yeah, exactly. That's all they've got. Yeah, you're right. So come on. I mean, there's only one proper team in English women's football. Look at your history. Emily, look at the history of women's football in this country, and then get back to us when you see. Us as a big club, because we don't give away free tickets, do we? We don't need to give away free tickets. We don't need to give away free tickets. Come on. We'll see what we. Why don't we have a look at this? Right, next Sunday, it's a neutral stadium. Both teams have been given the same amount of tickets. There's a load of neutral tickets. Let's see who has the most fans go to Wolves on Sunday, shall we? Yeah. If Chelsea have got all these massive amount of fans more than Arsenal, Chelsea will have more fans at Molineux supporting their team next week than Arsenal will. Right? It's the same distance to travel from London to Wolverhampton. Everyone's got the same distance to go. So Chelsea will have what, 3/4 of the ground, will they? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look to see next Sunday and come back to us next time when we've seen that game and then tell us who's got more fans, shall we? Gunnar Dan says, got another tattoo done today, the Arsenal cannon with 1885. If you've got 1885, mate, you made a mistake because it's 1886. So you want to get that right. Because if you've actually got 1885 on your tattoo, then that is not good. That is not good at all. You need to get that sorted out. But I'm sure it's a nice tattoo anyway. But yeah, if you've got 1885, go back tomorrow and get the 5 filled into a 6, and then you'll be right. But I'm sure you haven't really. I'm sure you've just typed it wrong in there. Let's hope so anyway. I think we've got the Chelsea game out of our system now, haven't we? Do you think, or are we still a bit down in the dumps about it? I've kind of got over it now. Greg says every time Arsenal play away, it's always their biggest crowds. Exactly, yeah. I say them crowds. I mean, look at they were saying the record ever attendances in the WSL. It's all because of Arsenal. We're what's done it. Nobody else. We're getting sellouts at the Emirates 4 or 5 games this season. You know what I mean? We've done it. Everybody says, so you are a bigger club because of fans. Look at the trophy. Yeah, look at the trophies as well. How many league titles have Arsenal won compared to Chelsea?
50 trophies.
How many FA Cups have Arsenal won compared to Chelsea? How many League Cups have Arsenal won compared to Chelsea? How many European Cups have Arsenal won compared to Chelsea? You want to compare trophies? We're here all night. Don't worry about that. We'll compare trophies with you all day long. We've won the most of everything. We've won more trophies than Chelsea will ever win in their whole history ever. So, yeah, let's talk about trophies.
Let's not get bogged down.
Gunnar Dan says it is 1880. Of course, it's 18. We want to be 1886 because that's the right year, isn't it? Terry says Salty FC have only been irrelevant since the brand. Well, yeah, they were only then, exactly. Wayne says I heard a Chelsea fan say 5 titles in a row loading, and then an Arsenal fan said back, try winning 9. Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let them talk about trophies. Emma Lou says you won 100 years ago, no one remembers.
It wasn't 100 years ago, actually.
Years ago, brilliant. LG says the WSL started in 2011 for Chelsea fans. Yeah, well, football started in 2011 for Chelsea fans, didn't it? Because they didn't do anything before then. Darren says, Amy Lou yawn. Come on, you're embarrassing. Just let them crack on. It's fine. We know the truth, don't we? We know how great Arsenal have been, how many trophies we've won, and how brilliant we are, and that Emma Hayes learned everything at Arsenal, that Chelsea would be nothing without the Arsenal influence. We all know that. But, let them dream if they want. We'll get the real truth next Sunday, won't we? When Arsenal have there'll be 30,000 fans at Molineux and 28,000 will be Arsenal fans. There'll be a couple of Chelsea fans in the corner, like there is every single time they play. Anyway, we've got Christina says there, what was it like for the board to reach Jonas? They tend to go after overrated coaches. A squad like this that is poorly managed both tactically and strategically. I mean, we didn't have that squad when we got Jonas, did we? I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Jonas has built this squad, so does he not get credit for that? But sometimes I agree. I think we are, in some occasions, we've been badly managed tactically. Yeah, I agree. I think we all do. Emily Lou says there, Emma Hayes have made English football. It's over.
No, Vic Akers
made English football because she's won the Euros and got to the World Cup final. So there you go. Emma Hayes ain't even good enough to manage England, is she? They didn't want her. America can have her because they've got problems, haven't they? They can't get anybody decent, so they're just going to have her, aren't they? Because it's better than no one. But anyway, we're going to have more fun with Chelsea next week, aren't we? I'm sure we are, because we've got a cup final. Let's hope so, yeah. But anyway, so obviously, Andreas, you'll be at Molineux, won't you, next Sunday? What time are you getting there?
Sorry?
What time are you getting there to the ground?
I don't know. I'm on one of the two coaches organized by the supporters club. And
well, they did it all night, coach travel. Nice.
9 in a car park close to the Emirates, so it's supposed to have 3 hours travel. Let's see. I'll be there, and of course we are playing a final. I have to be there. I'll be at all home matches that are coming: Bristol, Leicester, and Brighton. Yeah.
Right. Fantastic.
It's
going to be a good Sunday, isn't it?
Even if we lose, next match I'll be there again. It's I can't stop. I can't stop because I'm a fan, and support doesn't depend on success. That's what I always say. Of course, I want my team to win every match, but if we lose, then I'll be there for the next match, and I support my team again. That's it. That's just being a fan.
Of course, exactly. Yeah, and yes, it's not really it's not necessarily always about results, is it? Yes, you like to see your team win. You like to see your team win trophies, of course you do. But your team's your team, and regardless of how good or bad they are, ultimately makes no difference. You can't just get rid of it, can you? It's what it is, and that's absolutely right. And it's it's why we're always here, isn't it? Winning and losing isn't really what defines your support, is it? It's just what it means to you to be at the games and to follow the team. That's what it's about, isn't it? And I think Andreas kind of really sums it up well, with traveling over from Germany for all the games and stuff like that. And that's what it's about, isn't it? And win or lose or whatever it is makes no difference. He's still back again, isn't he? The week after and stuff like that. It's great, isn't it? What time? When are you flying to London then, Andreas?
On Friday, next Friday.
Yeah. Oh, right, good. Yeah, we're going down on Friday. Yeah, we're staying for the weekend, so we're making a weekend of it. We're going down Friday, and yeah.
I booked from Friday to Monday in London because normally we would play Bristol at Meadow Park. By reaching the handicap final, I was looking for train or connections to Wolverhampton, and then there was the offer from the supporters club. First was a free coach sponsored by Arsenal, and then they made a random draw. I didn't get a place on the coach, but fortunately there's a second coach, and I've got a place on this, so it's easier for me. That's organized from the supporters club, and I think it will be. At least it will be a nice journey to Wolverhampton, and I hope that we'll have a nice journey back to London.
It'll be brave if we go safe journey back from there. Let me tell you.
No, I'm sure it's going to be. It'll be a great day anyway, won't it? Win or lose, but obviously if we win, it'll be even better, won't it? Of course. But no, the coach will be fun actually, won't it? I reckon them coaches will be lively. I would have thought they will be lively, so that'll be good. Wayne says, I hate that final clashes with the men's game. I'm going to have to watch both at the same time.
Exactly. I'm with him. And I said, we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat there. We're in the same boat there. Absolutely. Shouldn't be clashing.
See, normally, I've moaned about this plenty of times when the men and the women's games clash, and they shouldn't really do that. And I don't think it's necessarily right. I think the date for the Continental Cup final was already set anyway, so I don't think that you can really necessarily. If they wanted to change it, they should have changed the scheduling of the men's game, played the game on a Saturday night instead of a Sunday, when they could have done that for TV, I'm sure. But when it's a cup final, to me, that takes priority. It takes priority because it's a cup final. A normal WSL game, I'd have probably done the same. I'd have probably watched them both, and that would have been fine. But I think a cup final is slightly different. You know, regardless of how important a men's game is, nothing's going to be decided on Sunday, is it? It's a big game, of course it is, and Arsenal want to win, but nothing's going to be decided. Whereas in the cup final, something gets decided at the end of it. A cup's going to be lifted. Either we're going to lift it or they will. So for me, it's yes, it's not ideal, but it was not a really difficult decision for me to make to go to the cup final and be there to watch it. So. LG says the best players we play under Jonas were bought under Joe Montevideo. Well, that's not really true, though, is it? Russo, she's one of our best players. Steena's one of our best players. You know, there were players such as Leah Williamson, who wasn't bought by Joe. They were already at the club, and you know, Kim Little, for example. You know, so I disagree with that. Actually, I think there are some good players that Joe brought in. Yes, absolutely. But there's also some good players that were there before and have come since. And I don't think the best players are Joe players necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that. But there's some good players on both. Darren says North Bank, Andreas. You're not in North Bank at Meadow Park, are you?
I think yes. I have to check. I have season ticket.
I think you're in the West Stand, aren't you? Isn't it? No, the East Stand. That's where your ticket is, isn't it? I think it's East Stand, isn't it?
I thought it was with Harry.
Yeah.
That's in the East Stand, isn't it? I'm sure it's the East Stand. Is it East?
It's East Stand, yes, yeah.
Yeah, the East Stand, yeah. I thought it was the East Stand, yeah. The North Bank's behind the goal. Terry says, enjoy yourselves at the cup final, Richard Andreas. He says, what are you up to, MR? What are you up to, MR, on next Sunday?
I'll be watching the game. I'll be watching it from home, obviously, and then I'll be watching the City game. That's what true fans do, isn't it? Come on, yeah.
Well, we'll see. There we go. Emilu says, he says, coming from Germany because Arsenal giving free tickets and a happy day. Well, they're not giving free tickets, definitely not. But it will be a happy day. It'll be a happy day because Arsenal are going to beat Chelsea, so it'll definitely be a happy day. But there you go. Where are you going to? So yeah, that's what's happening next Sunday, of course. So we won't be able to have a show Friday probably because obviously Andreas is flying over. We're going sort of Friday during the day, so we'll be in Wolverhampton probably by about 5 o'clock, probably 4 or 5 o'clock. But we've got a weekend away in Wolverhampton, so we're going to be not only going to the game, we're going to be doing a few other bits and pieces as well, going and seeing the delights of Wolverhampton, which I'm sure I've been there a couple of times. I've only ever been to the football stadium, but I'm sure Wolverhampton as a city is a great place to go. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots of fun. So we will see what Wolverhampton's got to offer. There will, of course, be a vlog of the game. Of course there will. And we'll get Andreas involved as well, I'm sure, in the vlog. And also as well, if anyone's at the game next Sunday and you want to be part of the video, let me know. We can get you involved. You can give your thoughts on the game. You can give your thoughts on it all. And that would be good if you want to get involved in that as well. So let us know. That would be really, really good. And you can be on our video. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Wayne says, just heard a rumour, Joe going to Lyon and Sonia going to Chelsea. Yeah, well, I don't think that's necessarily going to be I don't think it's just a rumour. I think that may well be what happens, if I'm honest. Terry says, I thought Andreas would have been in the Royal Box.
He's royalty in the Royal
Box. He should be in the Royal Box. If Arsenal are watching, please give Andreas a place in the Royal Box. There you go. Yeah. Greg says, pays £2 to watch a team that can't fill the stadium. Exactly, yeah. I don't know what Chelsea are on about, to be honest with you. I really don't. But there you go. Arielu says $2. Chelsea ticket price is like $11. See, $11. So what, are you in America, are you? And I bet you've never even been to Chelsea. I bet you never know where Stamford Bridge is. I bet you don't even know where Kings Meadow is, do you? Anyway, Terry says, "Come on, Amar, you're not going because it ain't exotic enough." That's true, yeah. If the cup final was being played in Dominican Republic, he'd have been there before the tickets were on sale, wouldn't he? But it's only in Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton's not very, not very exciting, is it? Amar says, "I can't go down. No, but you go on the coach with Andreas. You can get a ticket on the bus." Get the bus from Emirates Stadium with Andreas, and you'll have fun.
But they didn't release any details about coach details. That's the first I've heard of it. That's the problem, man. Yeah.
Well, you can get ticket now. They've still got tickets to the game. They've still got tickets for the bus. It's never too late. You can do it.
I'm not missing that City game, man. I'm not missing that City game. I just don't want to miss it. It's too good to miss.
But you are missing it. You are missing it because you won't be going to the City game because you haven't got a ticket. So you don't be watching it on telly. So you are missing it. You might as well be at a real game.
Oh, it's just as good watching it on TV, man. It's just as good.
And then what we're going to do, me and Andreas and Paula and you, after the Arsenal have won the cup, we are going to find a little pub around the corner and watch the second half of the Arsenal Man City game all together, and it's going to be great. That's what we're going to do.
I'll be saying you said we're going to be embarrassed, so maybe I prove you wrong as well. Let's see.
Well, no, we are. Arsenal are going to lose that game.
We're not going to lose that game. No, we won't lose that game. Sorry, we won't lose that.
What'll happen is, you see, what's going to happen, Amar, is right. It's going to be like the Chelsea game last week. Arsenal will be 3-0 down after 20 minutes, and you'll regret not being at Wolverhampton on that bus with Andreas, singing all those songs for 3 hours.
I'll be in a pub with my dad, having a drink, watching us beat City. That is the best.
You won't be. You'll be watching. You'll be crying into your beer when Arsenal are losing 3 or 4-0 at half time, because that's what's happening. It's absolutely happening. Anyway,
we'll have our key players back. Anyway.
Greg says, "What's your carer doing that weekend?"
Hey, I'm not disabled. I ain't disabled. I'm not disabled. I
don't think that's quite what you mean.
No.
Anyway, Emilu says Arsenal selling tickets for small money because they trust in big coaches with big mouth. Well, no, they're not selling tickets for small money, are they? They're not. That's the whole point, isn't it? All women's tickets are cheaper than men's tickets, aren't they? You know, Chelsea just rip everybody. Chelsea charged us £400 for a set of socks. You know what I mean? Come on. That's not right, is it? They should have given us for free. Anyway, Chelsea won't be laughing next week. Next week, they won't be laughing. When we come back and have our show the week after, when we've won the cup, and I'll change my picture at the back. Instead of last season's Conti Cup there, which you can see, we'll have a new one with the new Conti Cup that we've just won in 2024, which will be even better, won't it? That will be an even better picture. So we'll look forward to seeing Emilu then. I'm sure she'll disappear after she won't be back when we beat them in the final. We won't see her again. So enjoy it while you can, because it's not you're not going to be long term. You're not going to be in for long, are you? When we beat you next week. So yeah, that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that next weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we are going to enjoy it. Darren says maybe just ignore them. No, well, I don't think we should. I think we should just humour them, really. Why not? It's what it's about, isn't it? LG says Man City 5, Arsenal 1 in the start. I agree.
Bull.
I agree. Well, I don't know about 5-1. It won't be 5-1 because what will happen is Man City will score 2 or 3 goals early on and just set up shop and win 2 or 3. Like they did against Newcastle in the FA Cup. Exactly the same.
Have you seen the way we've been playing? Let's see.
Well, yeah, we were pretty poor against Porto, weren't we? We weren't great against
goals in 10 games. 33 goals in 10 games. Yeah, I think it's 33, isn't it? Yeah, 33. Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
Did we play teams like Burnley and Sheffield United, not Manchester City?
You can only beat what's put in front of you. You can only beat what's put in front of you.
Well, you can, and now we can have a proper team in front of us, and we're not going to beat them because we're not good enough. It's as simple as that.
Well,
that's the way it is.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will see. Well, you'll see all of it. Well, I'll see the second half. Although I might not, because if it is 3-0 at half time to Man City,
if I'm wrong and I don't come to the Conti Cup final, I'll do any sort of dare. I'm happy to do any sort of dare. Honestly, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see. We will see. LG says, Gio is killing it at Madrid. I wonder why that is. Well, there'll be a few reasons why that is. The WSL is a stronger league for a start off. Let's get that right. It is a stronger league depth-wise. And Gio's over there learning, and she'll come back next season and she'll be smashing it. Absolutely be smashing it. Barra says, I have Gio on my shirt. Well, dear, I'm going to say, don't worry, because next season she'll be back in the squad. Don't worry about that. She'll be back flying next year. She definitely will. We look forward to that, don't we? So there we go then. It was a mixed show tonight, wasn't it? We had all the depressive stuff about looking back on that Chelsea game, which, made us all very sad. And then, of course, we had the optimism of looking forward to a good victory at Aston Villa at the weekend, which I'm sure there's going to be. And of course, we've had some fun with the Chelsea fan as we do most weeks, which is good. So it's, I think we've put Chelsea defeat behind us now, haven't we? We have definitely done that, and we can look ahead to a better week, starting on Sunday, of course, at Aston Villa, where I'm sure we'll win and all will be forgiven. We'll almost forgive everyone for Chelsea, won't we? If we beat Aston Villa, win the cup final, win every game for the rest of the season, and it'll be happy days, won't it? So we look forward to that. So there you go, the Arsenal Women's Show. As always, it's always a lot of fun, isn't it? We always enjoy it, and that's what it's all about. Wayne says, let's be honest, Porto didn't play football. They have looked vulnerable this season. Even Chelsea got points off them twice.
True. Absolutely true.
Yeah, but Chelsea, it's different pressure, isn't it? Football's about pressure situations, isn't it? And it's totally different because we have to go there and get a result. We have to go and get a result in the scheme of the league. And we haven't won there for what? How many years since we?
9 years.
2015 is the last time we won at City. And people think we're going to go there and beat them. When they're 10 times better than they were in 2015. And we're just, okay, yeah, we're better as well. But we're not that much better than we were. And they are much better than they were. So there you go. Darren says no show. No show next week. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time because obviously next week we won't be here.
In 2 weeks, Friday evening, there's the Linus's match versus Sweden.
Oh yes, there is, isn't there?
The Euro qualifier.
So maybe Thursday the 4th, if that suits everybody. Then let's try Thursday the 4th.
Thursday.
You have your 5-a-side, don't you? You have your 5-a-side.
Thursday's no good for me. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can maybe see what we can do. We can't go 2 weeks without a show. That'd be mad.
Well, next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday.
Terry says, great show, Richard and Andreas. It's good to have a third person on the panel for a change.
Well, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry.
So Amar will be back. The real Amar will be back soon. It's like the Leah Williams clone, isn't it? It's a clone of Amar tonight. That's what it's been. That's what it's been. Darren says, much more fun than spending a ton of cash at the Bruiser. Exactly, mate. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And you can go and spend a ton of cash at the Bruiser now if you want. Greg says, great start to the weekend. Great chat. Fantastic panel. Friday nights are the best. Yeah, well, we like to think they are. We enjoy them. And I'm glad you guys do as well. And we look forward to many, many more to come. But obviously not next week because we've got plans next week. We are not here. We'll be in Wolverhampton. Well, I'll be in Wolverhampton on Friday night. Andreas will be somewhere in the sky over Europe somewhere, flying over to London again. So anyway, if you are at the game next Sunday, by the way, do if you see Andreas, say hello to Andreas. If you see me, I'll have my camera. Come and say hello. Get on the vlog. It'd be great to see you all, and we'll enjoy the game, and that'll be good. And yeah, I'm sure we'll find somewhere to watch the remnants of the Man City game afterwards as well, somewhere close to the. I don't know. What time's your coach going back, Andreas? Is it straight after the game?
I think at 7.
7?
Or 9? I don't know.
7?
I have to check before. I don't know.
Mind you, it could be extra time, so they probably won't have an exact time, will they? Because if the game goes to extra time, then obviously the coach will have to go later, won't it? Because everyone will still be in the ground. But I don't know, actually, yeah. I'm not sure what. It probably will be 7 o'clock because it will give time if it extra time as well, won't it? And also, it will give everyone time to watch the second half of the Man City game. Darren says, what block at the final are you guys in? I'm in the Jack Hayward stand. I think it's SL4, I think we're in, which is a lower tier, block 4, which is the second one in. So not quite behind the goal, just slightly to the left-hand side. I think Andreas was in you're in the Steve Ball stand, aren't you, Andreas?
Something like Bull stand, yes.
Yeah, so that's along the side. So Andreas in Steve Ball, we're in Jack Hayward behind the goal, which is going to be good, I'm sure. We're going to enjoy that. Are you there, Darren? Are you at the game? What block are you in? It'd be good to see you. So yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, if you're around, we'll be around the ground. We're going to try and get there for about. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, so we'll probably get about 1:30.
Oh, it's 2 blocks to the right. He says. There you go.
There's 3 blocks to the right. Oh, what behind the goal? Are you in the Jack Hayward behind the goal? So what you'll be in block? Is it 6? Because you got I think 5 right behind the goal, isn't it? And 6 just the other side. I think it's 3, 4, 5, and 6, isn't it? Behind that goal or something like that. I can't remember now, but yeah, come and say hi. It'd be good to meet you. Yeah, you are. Well, brilliant. Okay, that'd be great stuff. I mean, we'll be hanging around outside anyway beforehand. There's a few statues around the ground, isn't there? Terry says, "What corner flag are the Salty fans behind?" Well, they've got. I think they've got 5 seats in the corner somewhere. I'm not sure which corner it is. They've got 5 fans somewhere that bought tickets before the Arsenal fans bought them all. They did get a few, but not very many. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Right, if I can find a Chelsea fan, what I'm going to do, my mission on next Sunday when I'm there is going to be to find a Chelsea fan. I'm going to put one on a video. I'll find one. I will find one. I'll have to search probably very, very hard, but I will find one. And I'll get them on the video just to prove that there was a Chelsea fan there, because I'm sure when we beat them like 5-0, that you won't see any Chelsea fans. So I'm going to show there was one, at least one there, because I'll find one somewhere, and I'll get them on the video for you. So that'll be good, won't it? And we can obviously laugh at them as well after the game. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm just looking forward. It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
Let's not also forget there's a small matter of Wolfsburg against Bayern. If Bayern win this weekend, they're champions.
If they win, they would be 7 points.
Oh, then that's it. That's over. There's no chance, Wolfsburg. So there's only 5 more games after that, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's over after they win. Yeah, come on, Bayern.
But we don't want Wolfsburg to win, do we? We definitely don't want Wolfsburg to win. So yeah,
I don't know if you saw earlier in the chat. LG suggested if Jonas goes, we should get Tommy Stroot.
No, I don't think.
We do not want Tommy Stroot.
It's a 50-50 match. Bayern hasn't won for 15 years away at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, so for 15 years. Wow.
Away at Wolfsburg.
They lost to Hoffenheim and they had to play sent off last week, so it's a perfect time to be playing them.
Yeah, Alex Bob is injured; she can't play. Let's see.
Well, there you go.
You'll take a draw, though, wouldn't you? You'll take a draw.
We'll take a draw. Then
Yeah.
4 points clear. That this would be enough. I think this would be enough for the last 5 matches. So a draw would be really okay, but it will be a tough match.
Oh, please win.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice to win, obviously, because we don't like Wolfsburg, do we? Absolutely not. Greg said there, to find a Chelsea fan, it'll be like finding a unicorn. No, just what I'm saying. I'll be so excited to see one, honestly. It will be amazing, honestly. That's why I want to get them on video, because I'll just be so excited. Because I really do think we're not going to find too many. There just won't be too many there. Terry says, let's finish on a positive. I'll check them out. Well, that is definitely a positive, yeah. It's actually going to be, to be honest with you, as much as we laugh and joke about it, all right.
Look at LG.
If Arsenal go to Man City next Sunday and get a result, even a draw, right, or a win, then I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say, fair enough. Arteta deserves all the credit, because these are the games where I never feel as though he's got it in him to get a result when we need it. And this is a perfect example of that. I personally think
we beat them 1-0 in October.
Yeah, but October, there's no pressure in October. The pressure is on in March and April.
Still.
That's when there's pressure. You listen to Pep said that himself, didn't he? Pep doesn't even start until December. He's not bothered until December. He knows he'll pick up enough points. And then from January to the end of the season, that's when they win and win and win. Look what they've done. When did Man City last lose a game? I can't remember last time.
Last lost at home against Brentford in November 22, I think it was.
Yeah. When was the last time they lost a game ever, though? This season? When was the last time they got beat? I can't remember last time they got beat. They've had a few
December,
draws.
I think it was December against Villa.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. And how many times we lost? About 5 games since then. You know what I mean?
We haven't lost any this year apart from Porto, have we? Come on, man. Come on. Okay, fine. Let's just wait for the game.
Like I said, this Man City game for me on Sunday is a real test, isn't it? And if we come through that game, and we've got a result, either any result, a draw would be great actually. But any result would be fantastic. And then I'll end up saying fair play to ourselves. I don't think we'll win the league. Yeah. Unless we win there. I think if we win there, we may well go on and win the league. I think if we draw it, probably not. We're not going to win the league, but it's a great result, and everyone deserves credit.
I just hope our key players are fit.
I'm sure they will be. Well, they have to be, because quite honestly, if Gabriel and Saka don't play, we might as well. It will be 3-0 in 20 minutes.
Might play Emil Smith-Rowe instead, or Trossard, or whoever, or Jorginho. Yeah, let's see.
I don't know. LG says Bayern will play with 12 players with Herbador. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But we'll see.
We know playing. I think she'll give at least 100% for her team, and that's right now. That's still Wolfsburg. So it won't be easy to play against her.
No, absolutely won't be. Absolutely won't be. Greg says Easter Sunday was the day Jesus rose from the dead. Perhaps it could happen for Arteta. Yeah, maybe it could. Maybe it could. Miracles happen at Easter, don't they? They say that, don't they? Miracles happen at Easter. Maybe it will be a miracle. Darren says, chaps, no show for 2 weeks. Could be a blessing if both women and men lose. Well, yeah, it probably will be a blessing if we both lose. I agree. But let's hope that's not the case, though. Let's hope we win. And it doesn't matter, does it? Amar says we win both. Let's hope so. Terry says, Amar is Arteta in, Jonas out, in, out, shake it all about. Exactly, yeah. At least, well, we are as well, Terry, aren't we? We're the opposite way around, aren't we? It's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. We love it. Yeah. What a show! Actually, I really enjoyed this show tonight. I think it's been good. It's been quite therapeutic as well, hasn't it? Because when you have a bad result all week, it's been stewing away. I've been getting more and more upset, and now I've got over it now, and I'm really excited for Sunday. I'm really excited, obviously, for the cup final, and I think we're gonna forget Chelsea away, aren't we? We're going to pretend it never happened. Stamford Bridge didn't exist. And that's going to be that. Don't forget, I'm here on Sunday for the game. It's a late one, isn't it? Sunday, 6:45 kickoff, which I don't mind on a Sunday, actually. It gives you something to look forward to, doesn't it? All weekend, you can look forward to the game on Sunday. So we look forward to that. So I'll be about 6:30 for that one. So that'll be good. So join me for the game. I'm sure you will. LG says, to give Arteta the benefit of the doubt, that 3-1 Liverpool game was massive.
Yeah, it was.
We lose that one. It was a big result, absolutely. I think we were a little bit fortunate, but we got a result, and that's fair enough. Darren says, anyone at Villa on Sunday? Well, probably no Villa fans. There'll be a few Arsenal fans there, I would imagine, a few thousand Arsenal. But we're not going. I'm not going. I can't do that. I'm not going to have 2 trips to the Midlands. I mean, going to the Birmingham area once is enough. So without going twice in 2 weeks, that's too much to ask, isn't it? It's not the most exciting place to go, is it? Birmingham and Wolverhampton, but it'd be good if we win. Yeah, if anyone's going, are you going in down? I'm assuming you are. If anyone's going, and be good, make some noise, enjoy the game because it's going to be good. I'm sure we will. You'll hear the Arsenal fans more than you'll hear anybody else, as you always do, because we are the biggest and the best, as we all know. So yeah, if Villa's going to be good on Sunday. Of course, Darren's going to be there. Yeah, we knew you'd be there, my friend. Good stuff. Good stuff. Terry says, hope you're not feeling left out, Andreas. Me and the chat will pick up. You don't need to pick on Andreas, do we? We don't need to pick on him at all. He doesn't need to be picked on. But so yeah, that's been good. Anyway, LG says, I can accept losing to City if we win the remaining 9 games. Yeah, but it probably won't be enough, will it? Because City will win all their remaining games as well, so it won't be enough, will it? So it's pointless beating them to come second. Sorry, if we lose to them and win all the rest, it'll be pointless because we'll come second. We need to beat them, really, but a draw would do. Darren says, not missed a game home or away, haven't you really? Wow, that's brilliant, you see. That's what it's about, isn't it? That's proper support, that, mate. Well done. Darren says, unlike Amar, I don't know. Well, Amar doesn't either because he was sitting on the floor at the beginning of the show. You might have missed that, Dan, but he was sitting on the floor at the beginning, so he doesn't own a chair either. But there you go. You missed that bit. That was quite funny. Anyway, that has been the Arsenal Women's Show. I've enjoyed it. I think it's been fun. I feel a lot happier with life now after all of that. Andreas, good to see you again. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, I enjoyed the show, and I'm sure that last Saturday we wouldn't have had such a good show as we had today.
No.
It's a week between this match. We want to forget, and so yeah, it was as always nice to talk with you, to discuss this and have the chat with all these guys. It was just funny tonight, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next matches and the next discussions here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny you say that because obviously our game was last Friday, and I actually didn't watch any football last weekend at all. It was handy that Arsenal wasn't playing. I didn't watch any football at all. I didn't watch any of the FA Cup. I didn't watch anything. I didn't want anything to do with football. I just did completely different things just away from it all. I just didn't want anything to do with football after that Friday game. I just had enough. That was it. So I'm quite glad in the way it was on a Friday because I had the whole weekend to get over it and concentrate on other things, and I didn't watch any football at all, which was quite nice, actually. I have to say it was quite nice to have that. But yeah, hopefully this weekend. I'm quite missing it now. I can't wait for Sunday because I haven't watched the game for ages. I'm quite excited. Amar as well, good to see you. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, good to be back.
You've had some stick from everybody.
Huh?
Even though you've had some stick from everybody.
Oh, it's all right. It's all good, friendly. It's good. I'll take it on the chin. I'm happy to support this great club. I'll always be a supporter of this great club. Thanks to my dad and yeah, whatever happens, I'll just be grateful to be part of the show, and hopefully we can bring a trophy next week and make a doubly good Sunday with the boys getting a good result away at City. So yeah, so a lot to look forward to, definitely.
It'll be a happy Easter, won't it, if that happens?
Fingers
Terry
crossed.
says, have a great time next week at the Cup final. Richard, Paul, Andreas, and all that are going in the chat. Yeah, I'm sure we'll enjoy it. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy watching it as well. Shame there's no watch along, but we can't do it all. But what I'm going to try and do is, and I don't know whether I'll be able to. I don't know what sort of signal is going to be like. I'm going to try and do some sort of live stuff from outside the ground and that before the game, and maybe after the game if I can do it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get enough signal to be able to make it work because obviously a lot of people there, but I'll see. I'll see what I can do. So there might be something live on Sunday from Molyneux. We'll see. But if not, we'll have a vlog anyway. So don't worry about that. It's going to be good fun. And we look forward to it. So the Arsenal Women's Show then, Friday. The weekend can start. And this is going to be a good weekend. I can feel it. The sunshine's going to be out. We're going to have some sun. We're going to have some football. We're going to see the Arsenal women smash Aston Villa. And we're going to enjoy it. And then, of course, we've got a whole week to build up to the Cup final next week, which is going to be great. So thank you very much for everybody for watching tonight. A lot of people watching this show tonight. It's really grown this season, actually. It's great that you guys are getting involved in the chat and with the comments and everything else and enjoying the show, which is good. So we're really grateful for that. And, of course, don't forget to join us Sunday for the game at 6:30 in the evenings. It's going to be good. We're going to enjoy that. We're going to have some fun. Me and Paul are doing a park run tomorrow as well. So there'll be a video of that to look out for tomorrow. We'll be doing that, which is going to be good. Terry says, Amar, Dan, Greg, and Darren, anyone I've missed? Great show, great banter. I look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time. And remember, hit that like button. Yeah, give us a like. Greg says, thanks for a great show. Keep the faith. Once a Gooner, always a Gooner for life. Exactly that, my This is what it's all about, isn't it? That's why we win or lose, doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter too much, really. We'll still be here next week and the week after and every other week. So, that's what it's about, isn't it? Nothing better than being an Arsenal fan. Darren says, "See you, keep with yourself, my friend. See you next Sunday at Molyneux. Look out. We'll have a chat next week at the game, shall we? We'll sort that out. So thanks for all you guys for watching. Obviously, thanks to Andreas as always. Look forward to seeing you next week in Wolverhampton. That's going to be good. And obviously, thanks to Amar as well for coming on. Glad you've enjoyed the show. And we will see you. Well, we won't see you next Friday, but we will see you at Molyneux if you're around. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time for some more great Arsenal women's chat. So see you then, guys. Thanks for watching. Come on, you Gunners. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. See you Sunday, guys. 6:30 over here. Take it easy. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys. Speak to you soon.